I just saw the tolls list, I thought you were telling me we're gonna have to build a toll.
No, that's only at the state border.
Hey, they create a couple of jobs. This is one of those electronic.
In and out from 140,
Take
so
the
that's
tolls off
state,
and
we'd
then
have to
one.
find a town road, not a state road. Sorry.
That is likely to pass.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, well, I'm gonna guess, if I go slow enough with the pledge of allegiance. All right, so I am going to call this budget workshop to order at 6:05 PM on April 7th. If you could do the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
She'll figure it out. Okay, so attendance and appointment of alternates. Suppose we could do it for a whopping 2 minutes. So if I can hear a motion for Paulette
So moved.
to replace Cindy, and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes for however.
I almost opposed.
This is gonna last, yeah, so. All right, so we took care of that. Now this, we're entering into our budget workshop area. What I think I'd like to start with doing, it says discuss and finalize budget. We do have our meeting, our normal meeting, so if for some reason we are not 100% where we need to be, we can always revisit the final then. We'll see how it goes tonight, we'll play it by ear. So I think we'll start, I know we ended last time, but people have looked at the new stuff that Gail has sent, and the notes that Gail has sent, and some other information that's come in. So I'm gonna just kind of go around the table, and Gail did bring a paper, which is interesting. I don't know if you got to read the article, so I think it's important everybody reads it. I don't know that it's really something we could do, but Windsor locks officials vote to delay the town budget process, but that's
dangerous.
it's really, because they have to tap into their general fund to deal with life, and that to me is.
Yeah, it's crazy,
But it's just for reference and to read and to see what it has to say and go over. So I figure if we start, we can what I kind of want to hear is just a generalized where you think we should be as far as the percentage and what we're putting out. And anything, you're generally thinking. We'll get to what areas you think we should cut and all that kind of stuff and after, but just kind of where you think we are, where we need to go, and where you want to end. Paulette?
You always start with me, start
At
that
end. All right, Jim. Sorry, Paulette doesn't want to start on that.
Wow, I was digesting what I just read and now you want me to speak.
Yeah, sorry.
My strongest thing on this is that public safety comes first. I don't like cutting it, and people will disagree with me, I'm sure, but it's a matter of just what's gone on in the last week with things as they are, why we should be looking at that. I don't think we're up to snuff on where we should be or where they would like to be with public safety, so I am concerned about cutting that. The next would be the infrastructure. You can look around, make your own decision on that. And then education, I'm very concerned about because while I'm not a Board of Ed member, I did attend a lot of Board of Ed meetings. And there's all kinds of theories and so on, but I think they're doing the best with what they've got and what state mandates that have been put upon them. And also with what they have to do to provide the kids with the education by law. And each student is treated differently just because by law they are. So those are my 3 things that I'm not looking to cut.
And where are you, and in general though, where are you looking to end up?
I think our families in town, I think our businesses in town have enough going on with the lack of, from the business point of view, the lack of spending because people are being tight. Most families, according to statistics, for instance, What concerns me, they don't even have enough if they have an emergency. They may be both working jobs, so it's not a matter of that, but where the economy's put us. So I'm concerned about raising taxes. If I had my way, it would be zero. Obviously, we're not going to achieve that, but I think we're going to be looking for this. People just don't have the money to pay a lot more in taxes, and I'd like to find a way to, if we gotta cut things, we cut things that affect as little as possible or a smaller group. I don't know how better to put it. It's not gonna be a happy situation, but I am looking, we can't raise taxes too much, we really can't. It will really hurt our most vulnerable families, I think, at this point. I think they're stretched thin.
Steve?
I wouldn't go higher than 2.15, having talked to a number of legislators up at the State House. The legislative session is going to go well past the end of session, which is June 7th. I don't think we're going to even have a budget even into July. So putting off this whole budgetary mess is we go with the best information we have currently available. As far as items go, I wouldn't touch public safety, infrastructure. I'm a toss-up on the education and the departments like Park and Rec or building that brings more revenue than they spend to the table. I would leave them alone because they're pretty much self-sufficient with what they get. They bring money back to the town. So I wouldn't be looking to cut those items, but there are a lot of areas that are underutilized that I probably will make recommendations to cut. Especially if the budget referendum goes down to 2%, I'm going to be very drastic. I have starting points in mind, and I'll put them out on the table. But we'll see. We'll see where we end up as a group. But right now, first pass, I wouldn't go above 2.15%.
Cindy, you just walked in, but you're in the line.
Oh, we should make a motion to, don't we have to make a motion to relieve Paulette, or are we still, I don't know what our number is. I'm just concerned because of a vote.
Oh, Cindy came in. Okay.
Did you fill me with?
Yes,
Yes,
We
Paul.
did.
we were quick to
We
do
tried,
that.
but
Ah,
we
see
ended
here,
up past like 5 after.
Damn, I
so-
showed up.
All right. Motion to have Cindy take her seat.
Moved.
Second.
Jim? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes. Okay, Cindy.
Abstain. Thank you.
Well,
Was
and
there-
just so you know, we'll come back to you. It's just a generalization. We're just saying where we think we should be.
Okay.
Tonight,
Was there
where we would
anything
like to
new
end
that
up.
we-
Nope, we haven't done anything except right now go round table to say where we think we should be, where we'd like to be. And, Bill?
I spent some time last night going through all the departments. I pulled money from across the board and I tried to be fair and even. Some departments that asked for no increase, obviously I didn't touch them, and some of them that obviously couldn't touch salaries and whatnot, but I did make a series of cuts across all the departments and tried to be fair, even across the board. I also had figured Brandon for an increase in his income to what he was last year, which, was $20,000, was $20,000, and he seemed to think, and I don't know if someone was able to confirm that with him, that he was gonna be ahead of last year, so I don't know. So anyway, I brought that up by $20,000. And when I read my calculations, I come up with a 2.4 going to the first referendum. That's where I came in at with the numbers I ran, and, there's other places I could go, but that's kind of where I came up with for my quick run through the other night there. And tried to be fair to everybody, and, the killer in this whole thing though, really, when you look at the numbers, and it's not a darn thing we can do about it, is in the bottom here when it gets to insurance and pension, and you got 29.54% increase in health and life insurance. That really just smacks us hard in the face, but that's one we can't, I assume we've negotiated the best we can, and there's nothing we can do about that one. That's the killer line in the whole budget to me, really, when it comes down to it.
Kathy?
I would hit emergency management and just make out the stipends just flat, because you've got everybody working there volunteer, and my God, this contractual murder for unions. I'd love to do something about a union. And basically what Bill says is about right, a lot of money to 2.4, although I wish it was a lot less because I don't know how many more people are going to be getting onto their homes. We're really high. I heard somebody down in North Carolina, and they pay $459 a year for taxes, and thank God, we're 6,000 to 7,000 a year. And you go like, wow, I mean, I don't know how I'm swinging, heck, I'm swinging it. It's very, very expensive on a tiny business. But I'm sure we'll come up with something, you know, I just hope it's fair, you know. It's hard to be fair when people are starving.
I don't think we could go much above 2, because the town, the people can't afford it. So, you know, we shouldn't really touch emergency services. But other than that, I've got to go through it again. I'm make some more cuts.
All right, as far as that, I agree, Paulette and Steve, I don't think we can go much above 2. Actually, in reality, I think we need to go below 2. But it is, I want a budget that's gonna pass. So I went through it again, and there are a few things that I found. I know that you guys are worried about public safety, but I did ask Jason, because I could not do it today, to reach out to the chief, and hopefully he was able to get a few things for me. Thank you. Where he thought, because that is the largest increase, and it is our public safety, so therefore would be our largest increase. But there's gotta be a little give and take. So he was able to reach out, and hopefully he has some information for me. So I guess, yeah, that is where I am. So, are you ready now?
I mean, I kind of agree, we need to cut more. I think there's places throughout the budget that we could cut. I almost think that we're so low in some departments that saying cutting every department, we're gonna end up crippling ourselves in every department, that it's almost better to take a bigger hit in one place than handicapping each and every department.
Gail, did you run those scenarios I asked for? I didn't see them.
I have not had
Okay,
a chance to do that, I'm sorry.
thank you.
Was that the
The different mill rates.
2.5, 2, and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, so let's start. Did everybody get a chance to look over everything? Okay. So I guess we'll just logically kind of start from the beginning.
Selectmen ran.
Yeah.
Can I address this part?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just, unfortunately, I've been very busy, so I did not see the email because I didn't look. But I read it quickly, and my first question was, why not? And that, obviously, that tells me why we can't do that under the it's under the CIP and not under the, where were we gonna put it?
That's her.
Debt service, thank you. But I wondered why it wouldn't be put under, in other words, out of CIP. Hang on, I looked real quick, so if it's something different, let me know.
Selectmen lease.
Under the selectmen, yeah, leased equipment, why wouldn't it go under there?
It's a different type of lease than what that, but the leased equipment there are like our copy machines, our postage machines.
Okay.
They're smaller ones. That's a totally different structured lease. That was for the improvements to town hall, but that was done under a lease purchase.
Doesn't it end up too with us owning the item? Like it's a lease
Yeah.
purchase? Is
It
different than
needs to
just
be
a straight out
totally
lease?
differentiated.
What's the lease under CIP for? I must not know what it is, I thought I did.
It's our trucks and whatnot, but if it's, I don't know how it's structured, but my company does the same thing, and you have a 42 or 30 or a 50-something or a 60-month payout, basically, and at the end of that time period, vehicle is yours, the title remains with the capital company until you sell it.
Right.
So it's technically never, maybe the town's different, but my company never, when we have a vehicle, I've had some for 10 years that are still titled to the capital company, and I haven't paid on them in like 6 years. I pay like a monthly fee of $20-some a month to maintain the vehicle, so it's, that is different, whereas I think the equipment is at least owned.
Yeah, it's,
So being able to kind of,
I know that that one was a big lease, and it was like
So why,
identifiable.
and I'm just asking, I'm sure there's a reason we can't, why wouldn't we have a line item that says leased vehicles?
it could be this is the first time the town did it, I don't know.
Yeah, it was, I think, the first
Okay.
time, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that lease of the improvements to town hall things that we did?
Isn't that the truck?
Or is that
I thought it was the
trucks?
public
Well,
works
that's
truck,
the
wasn't
Maybe
it?
they're
Yeah, the
trucks.
public works truck, there's two
Okay,
items in there. if you
I'll
go
take a
through.
look and see. I'll have
I
to
mean-
look into it, because I don't.
Either way, I mean, the dollar doesn't change, but it's just a matter of what the
Yeah.
category is. It doesn't change.
Well, and it may, you know, then you can, okay. All right, the answer is that we can't do anything with that today, so I'm all set. Thank you.
We can
So
start
that was
right
that.
here at the top and go down
Yep.
through everywhere we can.
Yep, absolutely. Let me get to it, let me get organized here. All right, so we can just actually, we'll start with where we were with the selectmen's budget. And we'll just go, and anybody can,
I'll tell you what I did in my little exercise, I guess you can call it. I did cut $3,000 from community outreach to bring it to $3,000. And I did cut $400 from the travel line to bring it back to what it was last year. And that was my two cuts in the selectmen department. So I cut $3,400.
okay, so you took, it was 1,900 last year under travel, they moved it to 2,300, you brought it back to
Yeah.
1,900.
Yep.
In your scenario.
And I brought community outreach back to 3,000, which is what it was. I did, you know, the postage was a big increase, but I understand from what tax collector, that's the one, said that her postage, or we had to move money from her into there because it was in a different category or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, mail the tax bills.
How much did you take from postage?
None.
Nothing.
I did not, because I couldn't, because Patty, you know, right, said that through her contractors, things changed, so now we actually pay the postage through the town for the mailing the tax. So I couldn't make any cut there, because obviously the tax bill don't go up, we don't have much income.
It was with her new process, right, too, Bob, with whatever the new process is?
Yeah, new software.
That's what,
Yeah,
okay.
that's, yeah, software, that's it, so.
And let's see, you took community, I'm sorry, I was trying to keep up with you, Bill. I'm writing.
I only had
the
two
e-bike.
things, come on. 3,000 out of community outreach and 400 out of travel was my two cuts to the selectmen's. The selectmen's budget, sorry. Oh, yeah, it's not up
Yeah,
there.
why is it not up there?
It's not done, that's all.
Can you reach that?
So when you back the.
She's taller than I am.
That is true.
When you back the.
You're 100% correct.
Yes,
You
yeah.
don't want me to make these changes in here yet.
That's just what I did.
Not
That's just what
until-
my-
and he or anybody can make a motion on those and we can work on
Well,
them.
I figured
but-
we'd kind of do a discussion and then kind of make a motion where we kind of figure out
Yep.
consensus on certain items and we can move it.
Yep, so did anybody else look at
Yeah, you might have to
selectmen's?
push it again.
Oh, yeah, it's not.
No, it's warmed up. It's warming up. Oh, okay.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it
it's
thinking
not-
about,
yeah.
oh, there it goes.
Oh, is it yellow?
All right, so did anybody else have anything in the selectmen's area that they saw or thought could be tweaked? Other than Bill's observations? Would you, yes, Jason? Sure.
I'll let others go.
No, that's fine, I mean, it's a budget workshop, so.
I came up with actually very similar things to what Mr. Syme did, and we have not spoken, that's
No, we
just
have
a
not.
coincidence. But I did think that there was probably some money that could come out of the postage line, and the reason being is the year-to-date expensed is very low. So year-to-date has only been expensed $7,500 as of
Yeah.
the last year-to-date I have, which I think is
March.
last week.
Oh, you have a new one?
Bills you gotta work.
Okay.
I was just gonna
that's the
say,
big
I thought there was
expenses.
something big that needed to come
Dog,
out.
all the dog licenses.
There's all
go
kinds of
out,
big
there's all
expenses
sorts
coming
of-
up.
So I was,
First, isn't it?
at the
the,
end.
the increase is $6,000, I thought we could safely take 3.
Jason,
I think
you
with her,
can't base it on, because of the the time that has gone throughout the year. In other words, one thing, you did say that so much money was left because, as Dick said, we haven't sent out tax bills yet. So,
Or dog bills.
or dogs, and so that's not a fair.
Believe me, I'll be
And
getting my dog.
We're not overspending postage. We want to cut back on postage.
I think we're underspending. I think we're over budgeting.
I don't think we're over budgeting at all, that's what I mean.
Okay.
But it
Yeah,
doesn't make.
that's what I'm saying.
over budget?
I got a 2-page list. That's not gonna be the last one we disagree on.
Unbelievable, go ahead.
Big deal.
Now we know when
All right.
I would do
I'm behaving tonight.
Any,
community
Not for myself.
outreach sounds reasonable to me.
Yep.
anybody else in that selection section?
I have a question. When
Sure.
we do purchasing, are we part of a larger multi-town organization? Are we leveraging purchasing through CCM or CROG
For like what?
for our supplies? In general, are we part of like a,
We just switched, they do, Jennifer.
No,
some
we get
sort of
like notebooks and,
Central supply items.
yeah, pens and stuff like that. We get through, the WB Mason, but we get a discount.
right, but we haven't leveraged, has anybody spoken to anybody from the town offices to any other towns around about leveraging price discounts? Because I did talk to the administrative officer from Bolton today, and she says that's a huge savings. I'm hearing no, we haven't looked at that.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I know that we just got the memo to switch from Staples to WB. I don't know where that came from, what the process was.
It's essentially Costco for town, more or less, towns.
No,
That would appear to be some level of low-hanging fruit for purchasing
We haven't even cut anything out of that.
that you may or may not want to investigate. But if that's what the numbers are currently, that's what they are.
That's good for future
Well,
looking at.
you could take it and save it this year if you join the organization, essentially.
Only down 19.
But that's up to
We are
you.
members of
We're
CCM.
members- Right, we're members of CROG and CCM, but there's a multi-town purchasing agreement that's around for getting discounts from somebody.
I don't think that's something CCM provides.
It may not be, but it was, I went to the intergovernmental meeting today at the legislature.
But that's what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah, but that's still, regardless of.
I realize that, it's
not a
out,
CCM function.
I realize it's not a CCM function, but it's under somebody
Can we make motions?
Yes.
up there that has the
When they're
information,
done,
is what I'm
let's go
saying.
with it, you know, whatever.
I'm just suggesting it be looked into. If we haven't done
You know
it,
who you talked to at Bolton?
yes, I have her card, the administrative officer.
So what if we were to take the postage to 24,000?
Make it a special appropriation.
I think we're hearing that that's not, I think we're dipping too far in that.
Well, where else can we cut on this? In this, every budget's gonna need to take some kind of hit. This has an increase of 4.50. You tell me where else? I'm trying to not hit into something like professional services, education and dues. I mean, I'd be glad to look at all those. I'm trying to avoid that. But if that's what we wanna do, I mean,
Make a motion and we'll vote.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys are pretty comfortable with the travel one and the community outreach, so why don't we take each step and do each of those?
We can do those at the line. I will move that we reduce travel by $400 and community outreach by $3,000 in the selectmen's budget cap.
Second, and any more discussion?
I think that works.
Yeah. All those in favor?
all right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes.
Okay.
Let's give Gail a second to catch up to us.
On travel, correct?
No. The community outreach, the 3,000.
No,
No, she's right. You're right, Gail, 1,900.
Oh, I thought she meant 3,000.
Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah, and then 3,000. There
Okay, I make a are we all caught up?
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, I didn't want to rush. I make a motion to reduce postage in the selectmen's budget to 24,000.
Second it.
Any discussion? I'm just a little concerned with the tax collector because it seems like that amount came from her and washed into the other, but it's only $1,900, so.
Well, that's, I was looking for something small.
Yep. Anyways.
Printer toner there, that went down.
But that was a motion, so
Oh,
let's
I'm
finish our
sorry.
motion, yep.
I apologize.
Anybody else, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
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 Steve, 3-2, so it comes down to 24, the motion passes.
So 24,000?
Yep.
That's it for them. Well, that's our final percentage. That should have brought that down.
2.5. All right, so town clerk, yep, Cindy?
Can we, if we did put these budgets down, what I don't want to see after is the different departments coming back to us saying, you budgeted the wrong amount. Is there a way we could say, if we lowered your budget, this is what we intend you to make appropriate changes? Do not come and say,
You do it.
we did it wrong.
We're,
Because this is their budget. If we say this is their budget, they gotta change to make this happen.
they're our choice, because we're well above 2% right now, and if it fails 3 times, they're going.
You're gonna have a lot
But
more
yeah,
worse cuts
because,
besides that.
yeah, because I don't know how many times we made appropriations because they said, oh, you changed the amount incorrectly, or you moved it
But
incorrectly.
that's normal.
But no, but they're never told, the department heads, are they told, this is your budget, this is what you have
Of
to
course they are.
meet, don't tell me you have 4 meetings instead of 3, make it 3.
Yeah, I think they do that. And I would have to say appropriation-wise, I don't think that we make as many appropriations as we think as we make internal transfers within that same department moving from lines. So I would have to say that I think they give it a really good effort. And if they need it in the one line, they save it in the other, and we're transferring interdepartment more than we ever give extra money, I would have to say. I really do feel that way. I mean, I'm sure we could look at it, but back on meeting minutes, and I think I think they do a good job keeping it in their own department, but maybe having to move down the lines,
Yeah.
the different
It's kind of
lines.
a pet peeve of mine to see that all the time.
All right, so did anybody see anything in town clerk?
I did not, because it's
Can,
primarily.
should we make a motion for the moment on this budget before we move on, just so we know everybody's secure with it? Or we're gonna
To finalize that line item.
we're not, we'll come back to this?
You can certainly finalize it if you're ready to finalize it, and I'm gonna put my hashtag through it.
I'll make the motion to fund the selectmen's budget at 279,096.
Six.
Thank you. I can't read that far. No.
I'll
Come
second
back,
it.
'cause- okay, any discussion?
And certainly at the end, but I don't see where we're gonna get anything else out of this. So I figure if we put it to bed, we're all better off.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes. Town clerk,
I have nothing.
I have nothing.
I mean, it's primarily salary, and she did have some decreases in places. and-
Yep.
Right.
All right, so do we have a motion for the town
But
clerk?
then we already made one on that, so we don't need to redo it, I don't
Did
think.
we? I don't think we made it at the final line.
Oh, if this is.
I'll do it again.
All right,
I'll
then
make
we
a
can do it.
motion to fund town clerk 410,300.
What?
He just used the department,
I'm
town
sorry.
clerk
I
department,
was trying-
410.
I was trying to include it because I forgot it last time. I didn't do it better here. God, 135,465.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes.
Just for information, we did make that one already.
Okay, all right. You know what, and I just kind of think, just so we make sure we finalize each line tonight, if that's what we're gonna do.
Well, that's what I was
All right, we got
trying to-
treasurer.
I had nothing because it was less than 2%.
Yep,
And it's
1.9.
primarily salary, and there's a little bit in professional services. And there's some decreases in other areas, so I left it, so. I'll move we approve the treasurer 410,500 for 214,724.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in,
214, what number, sorry?
724.
all those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes.
Was Jim the second? Steve.
I seconded it.
It was Jim. All right, on to assessor.
I had nothing, it was
Not really, we
0.25.
don't usually, it's just back and forth.
I'll move we approve the assessor's line item for $191,660.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes. On to tax collector.
Mess with her at your own peril.
I didn't mark it, I mean, we did have the discussion on her increase in the, I mean, it's only $370 in education and dues for trying to get someone brought up to speed to be another tax collector. I mean,
I make a motion to
nothing really there.
approve treasurer, or tax collector, excuse me, tax collector, sorry, Peg, 410900, in the amount of $124,277.
Okay, on to town planner.
You gotta vote.
Oh, hold on, I'm sorry, who was it my second? I'm too used to you guys doing it by
I'm
yourself
sorry,
now.
I'll second that one. I didn't second
Okay,
it.
any discussion?
Sorry.
All those in favor?
I'll let
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll let
Motion
you
clearly
go first,
passes.
Bill, that would be easier on Geraldine.
All right.
Gonna kill us.
All right, town planner, I did have cuts here, and some of them, some people may not like, but I will bring them up anyway. I went through, and I got my pages out anywhere, no, they're anywhere. I cut $500 from education and dues, and I did cut $200 from travel. This, I mean, her department has the highest education dues, and the highest travel of all the departments, if I remember right in my quick time through. You know, just maybe, I don't know what all of it is, but maybe just attending one less meeting or something this year to give a little bit. She was at 4% when we started, and I believe we added money in, or no, that was after we added in. I did take $5,000 from professional services. I don't think that there's still a fair amount of money there, and, you know, whatever left for this year. You know, and one of the things that I particularly care for, you know, she made it big that this new quarter was lots of, you know, very important part to the growth of East Windsor, and I understand it is, and I obviously want to see growth in town, but she basically said she didn't have time to deal with it. And if that's kind of your job, I mean, maybe you need to make sure we dedicate a little bit of time to it to work with this. So I did make a $5,000 cut in that line, for better or for worse, but I just wasn't overly impressed by the way she presented it to us.
I'm gonna up you on that one. I would take it to 17.5. I'd split it in half, because she had $17,000 left, she only spent $3,000 this year. This planning for the warehouse point has been in existence for a number of years, hasn't really gotten itself off the ground. You know, we're supposed to do a 10-year plan every 10 years, I think we started in year 11 or 12 for warehouse point. Nothing's going to move, I don't think we're going to get there, and if we still have $17,000 remaining this year, then I would cut that in half.
I will say that I put it just back to last year's approved budget at 26.5
That sounds reasonable to me.
in my doodles, so.
With the travel and education and dues.
My travel education dues maybe are additional to everybody else, but that's
Yes,
just-
but no, I kind of agreed with you. When we come to the professional services and what's occurred, let's take a step back when it comes to the town planner. I find our staff wears a lot of hats. And the town planner, actually, the plan of conservation and development, which you alluded to, Steve, would normally have cost the town money to hire a professional to do it.
We did.
Well, but she started it all. They hired, if we had gone out and hired originally what it would cost to have someone take care of the whole thing, not the steps that Lori did. I'm just saying, to cut there where they are at, that's part of the planning that needs to go on. I'm not sure why, I agree with you, when someone says, I have too much on my plate, you know, but that's not the case. We really, I feel we really need these things. We don't have to. It won't be the end of the world, but it will put us maybe not on the same footing as we might want to be as we deal things on a regional level, on a local level, and that is my concern. But if we, again, we're having to make big cuts, but if, I could be agreeable to that, but we're going to have to look at big cuts in every department if we start. Because that's where this is something that would, if it gets done and people come, and that's part of the two steps. One is to get it done and the second's coming, and I don't know when that's gonna happen. But I do know that we do get money back from that investment. It's not an investment.
If we get around to making that investment, that's the challenge I have.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. If you looked at this probably years ago, we probably didn't invest anything in that stuff. So we've come a long way. So I'm saying what I have to say, but I wouldn't, if we're gonna do this with other departments and look at stuff that is going to affect things.
I think, no, and that, I would say that that was my reasoning, Jim, of bringing it to what it was in the original appropriated budget for 16-17, which was 26.5, because for the most part, we're not giving anybody like those $8,500, $9,000, $10,000 increases, unless of course they're contractual, salary, you know, things like that. So yes, I definitely don't agree with Steve on the amount. I think coming back to what we gave in last year's, which has not been close to spent yet
Well,
either.
and I think we're gonna have to look at programs in other departments, because for them, that's like, if I have a department and I'm running a program for people, that's kind of their program. So we're cutting into their program, which is fine, I understand the delay. And I'll solve the problem by, I'll make a motion under professional services to reduce that to 26,500.
Is there a second?
Second.
Planning budget, I can reference that, please, because this is kind of worthwhile.
This is town planner.
Town planner, I'm sorry, I forgot that.
Town planner 411100,
Yeah, I forgot
professional
all that.
services. Was there any more discussion?
Second.
It was,
I second.
Steve,
Steve seconded it.
sorry. More discussion, or are we good? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
You can't oppose a motion second.
You second and you can oppose it. So what are you doing there?
Yeah.
Abstain.
All right, so that was.
I voted
you-
yes.
Kathy, I didn't
I would
hear you.
yes.
Were you opposed or? You're okay, so that was 4 for it and 1 abstention.
Abstain.
So motion, what? Motion passes.
Yeah, I'd like to abstain too.
No abstaining.
It doesn't matter, it still
Sorry,
passes.
trouble.
4.
I didn't realize
for
it.
the
Yeah,
motion.
you have to have the abstaining
When
now.
people say, what happens when people say
did
they
you change
second
your
for
motion?
discussion?
That was
They
it.
still
All
can't.
right, hold on, stop. This is kind of going off the trail of what I asked for. If you make a decision, make it and stick with it, and don't waffle and get everything confused. How many people voted for this motion? Jim, Cindy, Bill. How many people abstained? Kathy, Steve. Thank you. Now, if we could have, is that all that you guys would like to touch on town planner?
Bill had two
Okay.
with the travel and education.
Move we reduce the travel line in the town planner by $200 and the education and dues by $500.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? Go ahead.
If we're taking out the money for the professional services and stuff, then maybe we shouldn't take out anymore.
She is, I mean, I think almost $1,500 higher than some of the other ones, and she really gave no explanation, you know, it's just, I don't know, I just think we can do it and still be fine.
Okay.
And I think we have to look at everything while that professional
This
services.
isn't the only one I reduced.
Obviously, where I voted for the 26 is important to me, but I also know we're gonna need to do this with every department. And people are going to have to say, you know what, that's what I wanted, but we gotta do what we can afford. So,
So the motion is for travel for,
Travel down 200 and education dues down 500.
education and dues, she actually has that listed out.
The
Well,
Board of Selectmen have reduced it by 1,000. I'm taking another 500.
Did you add up the numbers?
3453 then?
Add up the educational dues and the explanation.
The what?
down below, and you know, add up their numbers.
We're discussing
There's
those.
not enough in there to start with.
Okay, we have a motion
How
on
many
the
of them are
floor.
required?
Got a motion on the floor.
Yeah, no, that's fine, it's, I look, but I mean.
Go ahead.
You can look, but I just, you know, how many of those are required things that she has to go to, that's my question. I mean, it's, I'm gonna write that.
I mean, she does have 400 more or less for miscellaneous training for planning clerk. She does have that listed, a miscellaneous.
But we're gonna do this to every department, I would assume. So why don't we finalize it?
We have
We'll
some
come
that don't
back.
have any increases.
With-
Well,
Yeah, and then you say,
Some have
well,
gone down, actually,
well, and
too, a
some of them,
couple.
like in the assessor's office, educations and dues is what? 2,600, this was almost $4,000.
I'd feel better if we could ask her directly, are all of these required?
Tax collector 16. Well, we can do that with everything and be here till
I would say
June.
something like CCHPA, regional
Yeah.
If you were that department, what would your response be?
It depends what it is. There might be, you know, I need all of these. If I don't have them, I can't do X, Y, and Z, and it's gonna cost us more money.
Not to interrupt.
But because she has a miscellaneous in there, I think there may be room for that, so.
Seminars and whatnot for the commission members. I
Okay.
mean, we support like 5 or 6 commissions.
Right.
There are classes available for instance, for inland wetlands, there's 3 terms and there are 6 or 7 members. If they choose to take that, the town would pay the $60. If you take it away, the member then has to pay that fee if he chooses to. And since they are volunteer members, they say, if you can't support me by $60 to serve on this position, then I guess I'm not gonna go myself. You know, so I think it may include, it's not just all for her. You know, she also has an assistant planner. Some of it is going to planning seminars. Some of it is going to Casio. I don't know if there's any charge on that.
What is Casio?
Connecticut Association of
Thank
Zoning
you.
Enforcement Officers.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Do we have that right now?
A zoning enforcement officer?
Yes. Yes, we do.
4933
Okay.
on that list.
So I think Lori has to have continuing ed.
Yeah.
I think there are some things she needs
Yeah, that's
continuing
what you just
education
was
for. I don't think that, and I don't know, but I don't think that all of that needs to be.
Well, there is a $400 miscellaneous that Cindy just pointed
I
out.
was looking
That
at
kind
the
of is a
APA.
general, so. What does APA stand for?
American Planning Association.
Okay,
That would be
That-
Lori,
That's,
right?
that's the national.
That's kind of.
that's national, okay.
Continuing ed.
You know, it's, if we don't do it this time, we'll probably have to do it next time if we don't get there. I mean, it's-
Casio, there's a due and a training.
All right. What, Cindy?
I'm just looking that the Casio has dues plus a conference that she goes to.
That keeps you, that keeps them also, they go and they learn what other planners are doing in other towns. So it
What's-
keeps them up to speed as to what everyone in the state is doing.
All right, any other discussion? Okay.
What's the
So we can
motion
review
we
the
were
motion.
working on?
It was for 200 out of travel and 500 out of education and
Okay.
Then why wouldn't we take 1,500 out of professional services and just put it back?
Let's
Well,
just
because we have
vote.
to do I know what you're saying, but, okay, so, any other discussion on that motion?
I would, if they were separately, I would vote differently on each one.
Okay, well, you can make it separately afterwards. So let's vote on this one. All those in favor of that dual motion?
Aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, opposed,
Opposed?
Opposed.
still passes.
So Kathy was a plus.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll do all that, I'll change it.
That was 200 out of travel.
Yep.
And 500.
All right, bringing the total to, all right, so So do we have a motion for this department?
I'll make a motion that, for 4111, is that right?
Yeah.
7, no, I'm in the wrong spot, excuse me, 100, sorry, Ted. To make a motion for a total of $237,938,
Then what?
938.
938.
Thank you, sorry.
No problem.
Alex, should I make the changes?
I'll
yet?
second it.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly.
Opposed, it doesn't look like the numbers changed from the last motion that we just made, the 2 and the 200 and the 500.
1,000,
Let's change.
If you take out of travel, was 5, town plan, the travel,
1,200.
Was 12.
Was 1,200.
It went down 200 to
Went down
1,000.
200 to 1,000.
right.
And education and dues went from 39.53 to 34.
Yep. Yep.
okay,
Correct.
I stand corrected, I'm sorry.
Motion still passes. It was 4 in favor and Cindy opposed. Correct? All right. On to building.
I did remove the $3,500 from professional services. I do agree with Rand that he probably could use this, having just built a house in town in the last year. My builder did have to actually stop work for several days because Rand was on vacation and there was no one there to do an inspection for him. For him, luckily, he had other jobs to do, it was no big deal, but when you're dealing with large commercial buildings, which hopefully we'll have some going on here, those guys, that costs them money when they have to stop for a day or so because no one's around, so, but he's gotten by in the past without it. I'm sure they can continue to go on with it. So that was my only
The 3,500.
3,500. I mean, I'm fine to reduce it and give them maybe some, little bit of help, but, I mean, it's, I know, like I said, I just know from the experience of my builder, but, I mean, it worked out. But like I said, the large commercial projects may not be quite as easy for them to work around.
I would leave it in there because the numbers Rand has provided me at the last meeting. Last year, we had a construction valuation of 16.163 million, a revenue of 228,723, an approved budget of 143,975. 2014-2015 fiscal year, we had a construction valuation of 8.5 million, revenue of $142,391, and an approved budget of $144,384. 2013-2014, we had a valuation of 39.65 million, revenue of $220,000, and an approved budget of $146,000. So out of the, from 2008 to 2016, he gave me, there was only 2012 and 2013, his revenue was $1 less than his approved budget. And where it fell off drastically in 2014 to 2015, he was he was about $1,000 short on a valuation of $8.5 million. So the $3,500 to hold somebody up, and if we've got
Yeah, Calamar.
Calamar coming through, $3,500 at $35 an hour is 100 hours, it's 2.5 weeks roughly. To me, that's really little money for what you're gonna get.
I have a question. That's for, and just double checking, that's for, I have a town building inspector on call?
Yes.
For when he's on vacation or
Okay.
whatever. it's-
Then-
Which doesn't always work though, which you
Well,
told us they're not
well,
always available.
Well, and the question I have too is we've got salary full-time, isn't that him and the secretary in there?
Yeah.
And the part-time salaries for who? I thought that was a building inspector, part-time.
He's not certified.
No, it's another guy that helps in the office. You guys almost cut that position last year. You talked about it, but you didn't do it.
So when Rand's away, this guy can't do his
No,
job?
it's not licensed.
He's not licensed to do it.
You need a licensed contractor or a licensed, or you have to outsource it someplace, whether it's to another town, which is gonna cost more, And the $35 for 100 hours seemed like a relative bargain to keep things moving, because it costs more than $35 an hour for a business to keep up and running.
But remember too, he said if you can even get it, because the times he
Right.
takes vacation, everybody's on vacation, so it's kind of relative too.
But I'm confused now. I thought the part-time was a building inspector. He's not certified. So what does he do?
The part-time help is clerical. That's what he's always explained to us, as far as I understood it.
Yeah. Clerical, part-time.
Is that a contract position, or is that a part-time, non-contract
That's a
position?
part-time, non-contract.
So we're gonna spend $20,000 to have a part-time, so he's clerical.
Yes,
Meaning, when I walk in there, he's supposed to help me.
yes.
Well, actually, if we look, I think we need to open the book, and he has his, let me find.
Page 15.
One part-time clerical employee.
Okay.
So that part-time clerical guy, I would assume, would be able to do things that if he didn't have them, he'd have to stay back sometime when he could be inspecting to do clerical stuff.
It doesn't really explain too much, it just says the department operates with 2 full-time employees and 1 part-time clerical employee. So it doesn't really tell you what that other full-time
Well,
does and what the part-time,
do-
the part-time's clerical, but it doesn't say what your other full-time person does, so.
Let's take a vote on this one. I'll move we reduce professional services in the building department by $3,500.
Second,
Second,
It was Jen first.
sorry.
beat you, cat.
Any
Spoiler
discussion?
alert.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion clearly passes.
And the reduction was 35.
3,500 out of professional services. Yes. Is there anything else in this department that
No.
anybody would like to look at?
That's the one I had.
All right, so if we could have a motion to.
Yeah, just look at the number there.
Yep.
151,035.
Mhm.
I move we approve the building department for a budget line item expense of $151,035.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion clearly passes. On to the registrar.
That was good there.
Yeah, I don't think we really can do much to
I
it.
move we approve the registrar budget for $62,979.
62?
62,979
Second.
registrar voters. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes. Human Services.
I did
I
not,
obviously missed some of this.
I did not have anything there, and as we talked about when she presented her
Sorry. It just made me jump.
Her budget number for salary full-time was incorrect from last year's budget somehow or other, so the increase is
2 years worth of
almost
increases.
like 2 years worth of increases, but it was actually less last year than it was in 2015, 2016. So it was something that went by, I don't know how that happened, but it did, so. She didn't ask for increases anywhere else in human services, and it's, so.
All right, anybody else? All right, so if I could have a motion for that line?
I move we approve human services budget of $196,820.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes.
Police department, I looked for $8,000 somewhere, where it goes. I don't know. That's what my thought was, that they could give $8,000 somewhere in their budget.
Is the ACO contractual?
Yeah.
State statute.
How do these
And
other,
something we desperately tried to do shared services.
a lot of other towns do it.
We tried.
I know we
Brought
tried.
it to
And we
town
tried
meeting.
again.
No, you want to revisit that? It's-
Yes, I
That's a
will.
bunch of NIMBY, man.
I
You go ahead and walk the Mill Street area and you rally up the votes. They'll feed you to the dogs.
Where could you cut 8,000 out of this?
Here's what
All
I
right,
did.
so-
I'll just go what I did. I pulled $4,000 out of overtime salary. And then I did $1,000 out of professional services, $1,000 out of supplies and equipment. I did $1,000 out of dues, and I did $1,000 out of uniforms. I just kind of split it kind of across the
So
top.
let me,
Can I
let me
can I
go
trade you
to,
one of those?
let me go to Jason, who I asked to reach out to the chief and the assistant deputy to give us
yeah.
some
That's right.
suggestions,
I forgot.
because
Sorry.
I knew that there had to be cuts, because they are one of the largest increases, and it has to happen.
I don't disagree with Bill's philosophy or the things he came up with, except for the $1,000 in uniforms, and I would trade you $1,000 in training.
Okay. Very with you.
It's just like,
So what did he say, Jay?
Nothing?
He said keep it all. No?
He didn't say a
He
word.
didn't say anything.
Didn't
I
say-
mean, I'm gonna, I would put money on a game more, but,
I had a conversation with them so that I have a pretty good handle on what would be detrimental to the department, and what Bill has laid out would not be detrimental to the department. He's pretty close.
With the adjustment to
Actually,
uniforms.
Yeah, that's a contractual thing, training's not.
Right.
So what did you, run through your laundry list again?
go
please.
slowly so we can write it next to the line items.
Okay, I had $4,000 coming out of overtime salary,
Hang on.
minus 4,000 overtime salary.
Officer
Officer overtime salary, sorry.
4,000 you said?
Officer.
Yep.
Do you have to do these separate when you make a motion?
Yeah, that's fine. I took, well, I am now taking $1,000 out of training salary.
Okay.
I am taking $1,000 out of professional services. I am taking $1,000 out of supplies and equipment. And I'm taking $1,000 out of education and news. And I thought that was, an $8,000 wasn't really all in their, line of their budget. It's not a lot, but it's a little enough to help us get to where we need to be a little bit. And I kind of took it through a lot of different places
And
and
they've
tried to
got
make
an
it fair.
increase on some of these, like the
Yep.
overtime.
Yeah, I would be honest, you know what, all of them match, I just actually took more out of overtime and took 6,000 out of overtime when I did my paperwork, so that is where I was.
I went for 8, Jerome went for
I
10.
went for 10.
As long as we're fully staffed, it keeps
Mm-hmm.
the overtime down.
Yes.
Yeah, as long as.
And
And they are anticipating at least one, if not additional,
Right.
retirements.
But isn't there something in the an academy right now?
She's out,
She just came out.
she's now in the field training
So what I, on these, what I would appreciate is, because there are so many, make motions on each of them separately, so that we can discuss each one of them separately.
6,000 might be okay to make it 10.
Correct?
All right,
Might
well,
be.
I'll move it, and we'll, I move we reduce officer overtime salary by $6,000.
I agree.
Is that a second?
Is that a second?
I'll
Okay.
second it.
Any more discussion?
You're gonna see an added appropriation for that at some point.
Naturally,
Not if they manage it
look at 2 months ago, my God, give me $8,000, give me a break.
I guess that was discussion.
I don't care,
No, what are you saying?
I don't care.
Anything else,
Do whatever
discussion?
it does.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, of course,
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion clearly passes.
expect that.
So that was 277, 768?
Yes. I move we reduce the police department training salaries by $1,000.
Is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes.
That's 1,000 down.
Yes.
1,000 training salaries.
I move we reduce the police department professional services by $1,000.
Is there a second?
second, I prefer too.
Okay, any discussion? Was that discussion you prefer to?
I'd rather have it 2,000 because some of the stuff there's no control. No control on this stuff at all. But people are really getting aggravated with the police department and what we're going through. They're not giving a nice income at all. Whew.
Do you really want that discussion?
No.
Thank you.
It's on the camera.
It's on tape anyways.
It's on the
I-
camera,
I
oh, on
put
the
it in,
camera,
guys.
tape, whatever.
I can put it in.
It doesn't
Give me a
matter,
rest.
seriously, but you can, and discussion ensued is really good, it's fine. Anything else, guys?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes.
That's down 1,000?
1,000, yes.
Correct.
That was professional services.
Yep.
Okay. Lost my place for a minute. I move we reduce the police department supplies and equipment by $1,000.
Second,
Okay, any discussion?
Yeah, I don't think we should. When it comes to the supplies and equipment, if they use something up, whatever. I think that's something we shouldn't touch. And since we went to 6,000 with the overtime, I'm comfortable being against taking that out.
Well, Roger's good at taking from one and moving to the next. All right, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Opposed.
Motion still passes.
15,515.
Yes. And police department, education and dues, I move to reduce that line item by $1,000.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Opposed.
Motion clearly passes.
I move we reclass the police department budget of,
$3,346,506.
thank you.
Just second.
Hold on one second, this one's, okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
What was the reduction in the OT?
6,000.
It was 6?
Yeah.
Motion clearly
Yeah,
passes.
can you just say that number again, please?
$3,346,506.
Make a motion for funding break.
Thank you.
I move we recess for 5 minutes.
Second? Second?
Second.
Second, I'm sorry.
Favor?
I thought my woo was
Motion
good
clearly
enough.
passes.
Drinks in this building?
There's a water cooler in there.
Right through the door there,
I
so.
realize I don't have a water bottle.
Don't worry about it.
Good, thank you. Yourself?
Oh, here's the water.
There's the old soda machine back there. I know it rattled, but it was nice to have. Find some charity that read some of it.
That's Michael.
Michael.
Your brother.
Michael, my oldest brother? I got David and Michael.
No, I know David.
Yeah, Michael, he's all right. He takes things harder than the rest of us. He's the oldest. That's what they have me around for. I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, but he was at the hospital, you said.
Oh, yeah, he had 3 blood clots. Came up from his leg. They put him on, yeah, something. He's all right now. I mean, I think he was stressed out over the funeral and, trying to be the big brother instead of letting his brothers. And of course, we end up doing half the stuff anyway. Well, I guess I should stretch the legs for a minute. See if the knee cracks. Oh, it didn't. It's always a good break.
Hey, you want a second-class planner? Go ahead. Sorry. You want to be second-class city? It's all up to you guys.
That's a third, real quick. Unless we're gonna be down to paying low.
You know what you need to understand, is you need to understand what the departments are and what they do. You can't, if someone is better at crying in front of me.
I was gonna talk to somebody about something.
I'm remembering.
We all are gonna talk to somebody about something somewhere.
I was gonna do the thing for the guy before the, no? Not that. Is it Bill?
Are you talking to yourself?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, I just didn't know if you were talking to them, or Bill, or just yourself.
You can't young for that.
Yeah.
It's kind of early. fun of me at work for talking to myself all the time.
Best answers.
I don't answer myself. Is that when you're crazy, if you answer
I
yourself?
answer myself, so it's okay.
Otherwise, when you answer yourself, that's when you're crazy.
You know you're gonna get the right answer.
That's right, though. You want the right answer.
You get the right answer, you get the answer you're looking for.
Oh, that is true, yeah. Give you that. Give you that.
Just shy of. Maybe I was gonna check my email.
Any what? I have 2 left, I think is 2 enough. I usually take.
Oh, my God.
You don't need?
I'll refill it. 2 left. 2 ibuprofen.
I know,
Gosh.
yeah, I'm right.
You can touch the bags. Yeah, that was when I was going through airport security and putting up a bottle. No, you're not allowed to have a little stupid bottle. Not in my thingy or whatever. It wasn't clear, it was like a little.
I couldn't do it.
You can, they snapped it loose. Pardon me, the weather's gonna change next week, it'll be,
Thank you, dear.
yeah. It's probably.
Do we happen to have a
Got a
printout
fang
of
in
like current expenses or not?
Sure. I'm gonna go do it right now.
No, I thought if you had a copy right there.
How current is the one you gave me?
There should be a date on it.
Top left or right, is it date, we should print it.
March 27th?
I think that's similar.
We have one more check, right?
Okay.
I think I'm good then. I don't.
It's supposed to be.
Is it okay to receive them through,
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see some get them
Really? Yeah.
I'm really
I don't think so.
like the money.
I don't blame you.
You know,
I
you
don't
what you
make the
gotta do
rules.
to work through the job. I mean, there were certain roles with the job, and you do it. I mean, you're not here.
Yeah,
Oh, Stu's back.
yep, .77.
Okay, so motion to come back into session.
Motion to come back into the
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
May I ask you time 7:10?
Opposed?
It's kind of fun.
Motion clear passes. Yeah, 7:12. Okay, now we are on emergency management.
And I'll approve, I had no changes there, and I move to approve emergency management for $17,518.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Me.
Motion still passes.
Communications, I move we approve $53,356.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes. Broadbrook Fire Department.
I did not make a change. I know we increased the position, and I just feel that we need to do that, and I feel we need to do another one next year somehow or another.
Yep. I'll make a motion for 511000 Broadbrook Fire Department, 389287.
I'll second it.
Jason, has something to say?
Okay, is there any discussion? Well, there's a,
No, second it.
yeah, yeah. All right, any discussion?
Am I allowed?
Yes.
The volunteer incentive plan is just getting a 2% bump, and they are way under on the year, like $40,000 under on the year. Even if you annualize it, they've spent like 44 grand. If you annualize that out, they're still under 70,000, and they're being budgeted 107.
We do have 2 more incentives. They're paid quarterly, so we've only paid 2.
Okay, so you take the 44 and double it, that still is 88. I
That's
was only
based
suggesting
on
the
calls.
$2,000 change comes out.
With the incentives, does that come back to the general fund at the end of the year, incentive
I
money?
assume so. I don't know the answer to that.
So if we were to over budget
You
with
get it
that,
back, but it still is part of your cross to bear for the next 3 referendums.
We could leave it and look at it in the future if we don't.
yeah.
When's the next check run for that?
Next payroll. We
Wait a
just
minute,
got
you've done 2 quarterly payments?
Yeah.
So there's only 1 more in this fiscal year,
No,
but it's April.
no, we're paying out the March one now.
So
And
there's,
then we do one at the end of the fiscal year, like the first one in July, it's posted.
okay.
Why did they think it was gonna be higher than last year?
Well, isn't incentives part of the number of,
It's based on the number of calls that they get.
Calls through, depends
Good
on
call,
people, I don't know if they were doing more.
Well, their calls have gone up, right?
I don't know.
Maybe we can look at it again, maybe in the future. if we don't.
They need, if they're short.
Well, that actually brings up kind of a more broad issue, and I'm not sure if Gail opined on this, but there's something to be said for not doing too much damage before the first referendum.
Yeah.
Only in that you might have a better sense of what the state's going to be doing as different revenue options are floated.
Well, according to
They're not even
Steve,
close. They're not even close.
They're not close to a deal, no, but you'll get a sense of what the legislature is thinking in their tax package, including their revenue package, after the first referendum.
It's 27th and 28th is when appropriations and finance is out,
I
correct?
understand.
all right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes.
So there was no change.
There was no change. All right, Public Works.
I just kicked, I mean, it's, obviously we moved positions around in that department. You didn't have a lot of increases in some, decreases in others. The only thing I looked at was putting education dues back to where it was last year for 3,000. Other than that, I didn't have anything there.
Really don't want the front of your driveway plowed, do you?
I got
Remind me
equipment, I
what
can plow wherever I
standby.
want.
He's got a podcast.
They get paid.
I drive a plow truck, I'll plow wherever I want to plow.
They have to be a plow.
Okay, I knew it would.
I could use cobblestone because that seems to be on the last list for everybody.
Here we go. I don't know, it's only $1,000.
And then, I mean, but I was just
Increase.
trying to look everywhere and every place, and that's just, I just saw it was an increase of $1,000 over last year, and I said, you know what? It can stay, we can look at it later, it doesn't matter, just, that's what my thought was.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a motion under 610100, Public Works, total budget of 865080.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Bill, second. All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes.
Town property, I'll move we approve $1,006,480.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes. I mean, they cut that department by
Yeah.
$26,000, almost $27,000. All right, road improvements.
I left it in there, but I did contemplate taking some out of road maintenance, but I figured if, we can look at that the next time we have to.
All right.
That was my only thought there.
I would take 25,000 out of salt and sand.
I would wait for that until next time, if there's a next time.
Yeah, I have my own more, but
I know we've already had too much additional.
Yeah, I think we're up to 150,000 this year. One more.
Significant.
How come the request, does anybody remember why the request for road maintenance was 204? With the select-
By a lot.
selectmen
The
approved
initial
three?
request was 350.
So the initial budget for salt and sand this year was 100,000. They're now asking for 150,000, and they've expensed year-to-date
164, almost
165,000.
165, yeah.
So they've actually already expensed 15 grand more than they're asking for. Or, for you math majors, 10%.
Hang on, let me look something up. I lost track of this one.
What was their original asking?
They were, this paper says something,
Looks like it's
they
100,000.
increased it almost 100,000 from the request to the Board of Selectmen.
Actually, they requested 100,000,
Yeah.
and the Board of Selectmen pumped it up to 150, probably looking at what they spent at the 165.
That's exactly what happened.
Did that, so, I mean, it depends on how you wanna look at it, I guess.
So they you bumped it up for what again? I'm sorry, I was
It
trying
was
to.
100,
Mhm.
they bumped it up to 150 because they felt they had already spent
Oh.
165.
You've already spent more than that.
I'm sorry, I was on the road maintenance, never mind, I'm
That's all
sorry.
this is gonna go
That's
down.
okay, that was all the same.
Yeah. Road maintenance was what I was concerned about. On our paperwork here, and I know it's been kind of screwy, but it shows requests to the Board of Selectmen, it was 204,000.
That was Bob's recommendation to us. What we did was we restored a part of Lenny's recommendation to Bob.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
That
So
was,
you gotta go in here.
Lenny's recommendation was 350,000, right?
I don't think that was the number.
And I'm gonna look.
I'm not confident of that. You see it there?
Wait a minute, it says 6
I had it written down, but it could have been for some other reason that I wrote it down.
What happened?
I'm sorry for the delay.
No, take your time. What were your for tonight? Catch up.
So originally,
300,
350, you were right.
Yes.
Oh, no, adopted was 350, request. Let's see here. This is under road improvements. Road maintenance and road improvements are the same thing, right? Okay.
Road maintenance is within road improvements. Road improvements also include sand and salt.
Okay, that's what I'm looking at, yeah.
oh, so 663,300? Is that the original?
Well, no, they're showing here, maybe I'm missing it up top. It's showing maybe.
What page are you on?
Page 32.
And then you have to look at the,
I'm trying to, probably gotta go back to the beginning page here. I'm just a little confused, that's all.
I gotta,
I know road maintenance, is road maintenance anyplace else in the,
Yeah, the reason I brought it back, you can put what you want on it, but from the state, we get 267,000 and change for what they call TAR, Town Aid Road. So in addition to the 300,000, we're getting another 267,000 for road maintenance in a sense. And then also, we've got a $2 million bond that we're doing road improvement with. So I felt that if you needed to reduce something, that would be one area you could.
Well, that's why I actually contemplated kicking road maintenance down a little bit, because we did bond money for it, but then again, it may be something that we leave it there and see if the budget passes, and then we'll have to look at it the next time. That's-
And do we know we're still getting Town Aid Road?
that was my
Yeah,
question, are we still getting tar?
It is.
Okay.
It's in there.
It's in the state's memo?
Yeah.
That's my line.
Oh, thank you.
and
Wanted
isn't
to
the
reconfirm
expense,
that.
isn't the expense for the
Mark it
tar
with a
money
pencil
in
on
the
the left.
expense? Isn't that the one that caused us a problem that one year?
What do you
Where we
mean?
had the money coming from the state, we had to break it out into to the revenue and expense? Was that wasn't tar, that was, what was that? Was that Los,
Yeah, that was, yeah, it wasn't the tar, it was the LoSiP. Yep.
So the request from them was only 204.
no.
It was three
So
something.
they originally asked for their
Bob had
350
it
that they
figured,
got.
You know, we bonded money for $2
Where did
million.
you see that in this?
In
Or
the-
$1 million, I don't remember what the bond.
No, I don't see I see
No.
663,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep, the 370, yeah. Total 663.
See, so you're starting at, in other words, this is the number they gave us, and this is what it was reduced to. That's 400,000 right there, it's already been reduced.
It won't even cover
And
walking
but
road.
now we're bumping it back up
It's at 300 right now, we're not changing this.
300, which is half of what, well, less than half of what they requested.
Plus we get 267 according to the
You get
memo
the
from the
tar money.
state.
267,
267 in tar.
266. Nothing.
267, and anything else?
267,
Just your $2
266.
million bond that they're working on. Working off of, or however you want to word that.
And I think that's gone.
It's gone.
So 267 is what we're expecting.
Plus whatever's in the road maintenance line.
Plus whatever in your road maintenance line. Right now, it's 300.
That'd be 567 between the two.
I'm gonna move we approve road improvements for $450,000.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Any more discussion?
I don't think that's enough for road maintenance.
Okay.
I'm real concerned.
You're gonna get that from where?
Anything you put back in there is gonna negate anything we've just done for the last hour or so.
Well, I'm not saying put something back in, I'm just saying I'm concerned that's not enough. I'm probably gonna vote yes just because it's the right thing to do at this point in the game, but I'm real concerned that isn't enough. But
You can always let it ride and add more to it after the first referendum.
Well,
I'm not even kidding.
no,
This first
you're
one should be
absolutely
like a
correct. You're absolutely correct, Jason.
All right, any
Unless
other
it
discussion?
passes. No.
Mayor, I do have one thing I'd like to say.
Sure.
Over the last few months that I've been here, Lenny Norton's a very generous person. What we could not do for others, like the West Shore Drive Club, the fire department, we gave them monies. So I don't see where he's lacking. If he could do, he's done this on 2 or 3 occasions, very generous man, and how he could do that when we're here fighting with pennies and nickels. You think about it. Just think about it.
We're still on 2 sevens on that.
Any other discussion?
Nope, I'm good.
Peanuts.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion still passes.
All right, senior center, I looked, kicked, the only thing I really, I mean, obviously their biggest one is the salary again, but again, that was a number that we budgeted less money last year than they used the year before, so I don't know, again, I don't know how that snuck by us last year, but it did. So obviously we can't do anything there. I just figured possibly bring supplies and equipment back to what it was last year, but it was only $250, so it's not much, but that's the only thing I had on senior center.
I make a motion to approve $234,838 for the senior center.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yes. As we said at the start of this meeting, our priorities are public works, public safety, infrastructure, and education. Right now, we've barely moved the needle down percentage-wise. We started at 2.8%, and we're now at 2.77% for the last hour and change, hour and 15, 20 minutes. I would move that senior center is not a priority, given that we have other priorities in town, and I would move to eliminate.
Can't, she already got a motion on the floor.
Well,
Yeah, you can vote. You can discuss.
I'm
that.
curious
discussion,
what his
but-
thought is.
but I-
Well, you can
it doesn't-
explain your
it
thought
doesn't-
process,
It
though.
doesn't, right now, we haven't moved the needle anywheres,
So
and
you
it's
were
not in the
thinking
top
to
3.
eliminate
I would eliminate senior center,
the whole senior
the
center.
whole senior center,
It's-
yes.
How would you explain
234,000.
that to your seniors?
We have other options that if we
You
chose
said
to
that
look
it
at.
was emergency services was a priority of the town, and the senior center,
Is it public safety, infrastructure, or education?
but it saves the lives of our residents.
That's what human services is for.
No, the senior center helps seniors get food, get to doctors.
I've got numbers here,
be-
they're not the way I like them, but I'll ask Kristen the appropriate numbers. Right now, 80 some odd youth, we eliminated youth services, youth center, 80
No,
kids a
it
week.
was never, it was.
Well,
wasn't
it still
on the-
serves
That's not a
80
town entity.
I know, but it still serves 80 kids a week.
That is.
No, well, it's not.
Appointed by the Board of Selectmen.
This is gonna,
It's not
this
department.
is.
I'm
this
just
isn't gonna
saying,
go-
you want to
I
move the
mean,
needle, you wanted to eliminate something big, this is something big.
This is something that
They could require
affects,
restructuring,
this is something that affects lives.
but you have
That
seen,
will cause, that could conceivably cause people to die.
you have a senior center in Ellington, you have a senior center in South Windsor, you have a senior center in Enfield, all within a 5-mile radius.
You know, I'm not
I
gonna
don't
argue
know
the
what
fact,
I'm talking
Steve, that restructuring might be a good thing, even within the town, how we structure it and run it, or who runs it, or things like that, so it's more streamlined with the other stuff that we do. But I don't think it's something that we do when we're in the middle of the budget process. I think that's something that if we're looking to either regionalize, or we're looking to think that it could run more effectively, differently within the town, that's something we take up before we get to this point in the budget, unfortunately.
Well, we didn't.
Because, well, we didn't, but I don't think that's fair to the seniors.
It's not fair to the students either, we have
It's
to
not
eliminate
fair to
some.
anybody, the whole process isn't fair to anybody.
Well,
But cutting an entire entity, also unionized employees that belong into that
There-
entity, isn't something that we just do lightly.
there are 13,000, only 13,000 is used for miscellaneous types of purchases. You have 187,000 plus 34,000 in salary. I'm saying restructure it, but you gotta start someplace, and we barely moved the needle from 2.8 down to 2.77%.
You have to start somewhere, but
Where do you start
cutting
that?
the entire thing, I
Well,
don't think is applicable.
we've already, Board of
I'm just
Education
giving you
came
my
with for
opinion, just- you guys can vote on
$440,000.
it, but-
And we took them down to 220 something. So take your whack at something. Right now, we've moved 0.3%, an hour and 20 minutes.
So, I'm sorry, are you done?
Yes.
I'm done. Your motion was for 234,838, is that correct?
That's what
I think, I don't know where they would take it from, but I think that we've got to lower that. I'm just saying, we can't, and I'm not saying destroy all the things that are there, but we can't continue to fund it at this level this year. There's not enough money. I mean, we're gonna have to look at that, and I'm not sure what you wanna cut, Cindy, but like, anybody that's big numbers like this, 234,000, we gotta cut something. And it's gonna happen when we get down the page 2 more down. And I'm seeing the bulk of it is in salaries, which I understand, because senior center is important to have the people there to service the people. So I get that. But what if we were to take, say, 10,000 out of that, and
You only have 13,000 total in miscellaneous purchases under the salary lines. You're only 3,000 for what? We already cut them $2,000 in their programs.
well, maybe we have to
No,
cut
what's
the part-time is not salary, maybe that's what we gotta look at.
What's our per capita expenditure for the senior center? 11,000 people, $235,000. How many seniors are we servicing? At least in education, there are nearly 1,100 students.
Hang on, I wanna look up the houses, hold on.
$21 a head.
And how many seniors use it? Nobody knows, I haven't gotten a straight answer as to,
You asked
I
per capita
appreciate
cost,
Kristen
21
giving me the
days.
numbers, but it tells me by program, it doesn't tell me how many people, like if I ask,
If you look at the lunches, that there's a monthly lunch that they have, and I
that's a
forgot what they
month,
call
yeah,
it.
but that's a monthly lunch.
Yeah, 80 people come to that, I believe.
How many seniors use it during the course of the week? At least youth center can tell me they service 80 different kids.
It looks like 2,441 participants in activities, not
So
duplicated.
ask the question, if it's $21 per capita, are you getting your bang for your buck? We asked that question to the Board of Education. Seniors and students are the most vulnerable people we have in this town. And our average Per capita, Jim, I think you said was $33,000 per person?
I think that's what our info told us.
So.
What is it worth to?
What is it worth?
What is it worth to make sure a senior citizen eats?
I don't know, feeding the kids, so that's not quite a fair
Yeah.
comparison.
43% of our
Go down-
citizens
go
are
down-
on.
What is it,
Have
what,
you been to
I mean,
Five
actually,
Corner
we're
Tavern?
having this conversation, what is it
Right.
worth to make sure, that we have people check on our elderly population to make sure that they're
I don't,
okay?
If we
that's
eliminate,
that's human
if
services.
we
not
eliminate
necessarily-
their
The
programs
service center, the senior
and,
center.
and have them find a way to pay for it outside of the town budget, that's $5,000 right there.
So
I
again,
mean, professional
I mean-
services, hang on, I'm trying to look up, so, hang on.
Let's put the hard choices on the table.
Okay, but there is a motion on the table, so why don't, unless
Yeah.
we're discussing that specific motion.
I am.
and I know, but I think you guys need to call the questions.
I've made my statement.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the senior center budget at 234, 838?
I,
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna be opposed.
Okay,
Nay.
motion still passes, 3 in favor, 2 opposed.
In favor were Cindy, Bill, and Kathy?
Yep.
All right, Parks and Rec.
I did look at Park and Rec under professional services. I hope we don't have any vandalism. And she had miscellaneous of $500 and I took it out. That was my only thing.
Where'd you miss it? What?
Their professional services, she broke out all of her expenses.
Okay,
She listed $1,000 for vandalism and $500 for miscellaneous expenses.
so you took out $1,500.
I took $1,500.
All right, anybody else in this area?
I would have left it alone. They're self-sufficient. They bring money to the table.
No.
Anybody else?
They're not cost neutral.
I know they're not cost neutral, but her program's bringing money, $10,000.
Yeah.
and she
And
spends
there are two people there.
$10,000 on 240,000.
All right, anybody else in that area? All right, so, Bill, if you can make a motion.
I'll move we reduce professional services under Parks and Recreation by $1,500.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed?
3, 4, 2 opposed. Motion passes.
So 15080.
Under Warehouse Point Library.
Before we go on, just, I'm sorry, that was
Oh,
so.
sorry, we gotta vote this in.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Right, and I just want to ask one question because I didn't write it down. I was busy thinking. You took the 500 out from,
Oh, from, if you're looking at their line items,
yep,
it was all under professional services.
Services,
1,500?
Yep.
Yep.
So that made it 1,580, is that correct?
15080, yeah.
Yep. Sorry,
All right, so I'll move we approve Park and Recreation for 238,202. No, I'm
So-
sorry.
238, 202.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking at one down.
Is there a second?
second.
Warehouse Point
Whoa,
Library.
whoa, whoa.
Oh.
Any discussion?
Please.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes. Did you yay, nay, or I couldn't hear a thing out of you?
I didn't say, where did he take that from? Parks and Rec?
You took it for professional
Professional
services.
services, yep.
1,500.
Yep.
So what were you, Steve? Yay, nay, or abstaining?
Opposed.
Okay. So it was 4, 4, and 1 opposed. Okay. Warehouse Point Library.
Okay, I brought them back to where they were last year, again, it was 0% increase.
I actually had that noted also.
And how many people do they serve?
No, they don't.
Warehouse Point?
No. The state puts out a report every year We're among the lower entrants of the state usages of library. People borrow 3.8 units per library. Other libraries are higher in surrounding towns. With 169 towns, of the 169 towns, 165 have libraries, 4 are contracted. And in terms of usage, we're on the lower end.
You think that might have anything to do with the hours of operation?
No,
No? So most of those other libraries that you cite, they don't have weekend hours either?
a lot of them have weekend hours. South Windsor, Ellington.
That's my point,
Manchester.
They have weekend hours. You're about to take those away.
Well, if you're not using it, you only have so much money to go around. I would take 25,000 out.
What?
I would take 25,000 out.
Okay. Sorry.
You wanted to get to 2%, that was your ideal.
Jason,
Wouldn't it
you were
be?
saying that at last year's budget, that's gonna cut hours?
I'm saying that their increase that they requested was brought up to 283 was to add
Did you
Saturday
make that in
hours.
the form of a motion?
No, I didn't.
They were gonna add a half
No, there's no
person.
motion, there's no.
Oh, no,
there's
after
no
we
motion.
started talking, no motion yet.
I thought I was talking.
I'm sorry.
That was to add a half a person for the Saturday hours and fiber optic cable to improve.
I mean, I'm good leaving them where they are, but like I said, just trying to, like I said at the beginning, be fair to every department across the board.
Yeah, but we haven't. We didn't take anything out of seniors.
Didn't you guys already take quite a bit when I was gone the other
We took
day from what it
2,000 out of
looks
the
like?
service.
2,000 out of programs that they should have been,
This
But
is
mine-
totally
Not a
going
human
down.
services.
But a lot of
though,
departments
right?
I took
When
from
was
today or
done,
ones we
I
didn't take
saw.
from the original time through.
okay.
Right.
So is there a motion on the floor?
No, there's no
No,
motion on the floor.
just everybody discussing right now.
So right now, after Parks and Rec,
We're on Warehouse Point Library.
I know, but after the numbers, we're at 2.76.
Oh, okay. I thought you were,
We've moved the needle 4 100ths of a point.
We should just approve the budget and go home, that's that.
We're almost done with this.
It's not, but it's not gonna bring it anywhere to where we need to bring it.
When like I said in the beginning, I worked my numbers, and I came out at 2.4%, and I think we need to run with that, and people need to understand where a lot of it is in the revenue we don't have. I mean, we've thinned these guys out pretty thin at that point, and I don't know if people just, I mean, if they vote it down, I mean, they're not realizing the reality of the situation,
Then things are going to be cut drastically.
and that's what we do the next time through. I mean, this time through, I think we need to present a budget that would hopefully maintain services and keep us moving forward. I mean,
Maintaining services, we put it at last year's budget level. They're at a 2%,
so I said,
right, a 2% increase. We could take that down to a 0% increase.
like I said, I'm just trying, I'm looking at the ones we didn't cut the first time through, and these are where I came up with it. I mean, I'm good bringing them, leave them the same. I'm good to take them to where they were last year, and those are my range I would work in on the library. No one's made a motion yet, so I'm just throwing it out for discussion. And if we left it at 262, I'm fine. If it's 260, I'm fine.
I make a motion for 2,600, 260,000 for Warehouse Point Library.
$260,000.
Yes, thank you. My tongue got tight.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
260 even.
Yes, I'm sorry to be such a mushmouth.
That's kind of funny.
You know what, you're really
That
making me
was
feel
good.
old now.
I like that word.
I tell you, you're full of saga, but then you'd ask me what that is too, so.
No.
It's a southern thing, what can I tell you?
All right.
I
Board
make
of
it-
Finance, we went
I don't
backwards.
think we've actually voted on that.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we did. Okay. See, now I'm really falling apart.
I got a question here.
Yes.
This analysis fee from Webster,
Mhm.
What does that analysis be for? Again, I'm sure it's written down, but
That's for bank fees. They calculate like the per check processing, deposits, things like that, and then they give us interest credit against the fees. And so it's basically your bank service charges. is what-
that I understand.
Okay.
So how many millions of dollars do we have in Webster Bank?
Well, I seem to
Depends on how you
remember,
look too, because.
I seem to remember that
They
Kim
do a
really brought that
retention, too.
number down.
I'm just asking a question, that's all.
That was something that was kind of a negotiated number that Kim went back to them
Yeah,
and
we brought that
negotiated that way, way
significantly
down
down.
and said,
Yeah.
hey.
So
So it's a number she already went back to and said, hey, you got it.
I bet we can find another bank to take our millions of dollars and not charge me $2,000 a year in fees.
$2,000's not.
I mean,
I bet there's a lot of banks out there willing to bid on that. Well,
They were really happy.
I will move report, approve Board of Finance for $43,750.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
No haircut there.
Which-
I am shocked.
Negative.
We're negative 1.3%, we can't go there.
if we
All
take
right.
2,000
Who's second
out,
on that, Kathy?
We did our due diligence, we got the auditor to reduce his fee by $1,000.
It's okay, doesn't matter.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I was still discussing.
Oh, okay. Go right ahead. Sorry, you weren't talking, so hold
I
the phone.
actually was having a conversation and not trying to be rude because you told us to slow down.
What
It's
do you
all
vote
right.
about, please? Tell me what we discussed.
I would like,
Please tell me what damn discussion.
well, I'd like to check out as to why we're still using Webster and being charged a fee every year of $2,000. Other than that, we can go ahead and vote.
Let's do for our next meeting, Gail, a description of what all those are, because they're not just fees. They're analysis that they do to save us money and to
Yeah, they do.
recommend to move money. They also handle our pension and have done a phenomenal job in our pension. So kind of if you can have for our next meeting, put it on the agenda. Or did we already put, no, when's our meeting?
No.
19th, we have time. Put it on our agenda so that you can bring it in and show exactly what the fees are. We actually had a presentation from them, if I remember correctly, last year.
Yes.
And we went all over all of that. So,
And we were all very happy.
bring it in for the meeting next time, all the fees and the other stuff.
Yeah, when we.
Because it's not just fees. Like, explaining it as fees is not right.
Maybe it was before your time.
And Jim, too, I mean, I know you got enough to do, but you may one time want to come to the pension board too, just to see what they've done for the town's pension, which is phenomenal. So, no, I'm just saying, good
But I
question, and I'm
think,
saying,
I
yeah.
think for the amount of money that we're putting in their bank, there's $2,000 that would take it right out of the Board of Finance budget, lower us down to 41, and I think it's something that minuscule they should be handling, that's all. For the amount of money we're putting in the bank sitting there. That's all, nothing, I'm done. You can call them about it, did you do the vote?
They did it.
Okay.
Okay.
If you didn't vote, I missed it.
Yeah, see?
You started
do
doing
vote
it.
again.
So then all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes. Yes, that's what
Sorry,
he
Pat.
said he wasn't done. All right,
Does anybody have anything in all of these commissions? Can we
No.
approve them together? Just,
I
they
just
were
did.
approved before? Oh, no, we didn't do the police commission
correct.
Why didn't we do the police?
because we missed that one.
You missed it somewhere over there.
We missed the capital
There's no,
improvement
it's a zero,
commission.
it's just for their secretaries.
So should we go through and do each one?
You did it.
We did accept the
did.
police commission.
Except for
I-
police commission.
Make a motion to accept police commission at $1,500.
Was there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes.
Do we have to approve the charter revision for zero?
There wasn't anything last year, was there?
No?
No, we don't have to do anything.
And the capital improvement committee, we need a vote on?
Yes,
I
Gail.
make a motion
Did you see that
to
we missed
approve
them
the-
too?
I actually took you
Thought that
guys
we
for
did.
votes, but I don't know what we're doing. I had some
We
votes.
That would have been on the night I was not here,
Which one
so
was that?
Let me tell you what I-
capital,
We rolled through quite a few.
Isn't that the one, isn't that on this list here?
Yeah, no,
I
I
have
think
the
we got,
reduced.
no,
No,
there's a
it's
different
not.
capital. This is
No.
just the
Then I
secretary.
have that.
Okay, it's just that I don't have my little check mark
I'm
next to
moving it
that.
up to 600,000.
oh, that's the capital
Yeah, we- yeah,
budget, yep,
that's
they're
me.
talking about the commission.
Yeah,
the
commissions, I think we got
secretary.
them all, we did miss that
You
one.
had- That was when I was not here, so that got a little,
It was well run. Kathy did a great job.
an
by
awesome
you.
job. Oh, yeah.
All the 910.
Yeah, we did all those.
We did.
We did those, and we did all the way, yeah, we even did, we talked about the cemetery, and then we got into the messy stuff under activities, fees, and associations.
Okay, so now, all right, so you were good on all of your committees, so that would bring you down to activities.
So did you approve? I
Fees.
don't think you approved the recording secretary of the CIP.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
think we did.
Why don't we just
Well, I
do
would say
it?
do it, just in case you
Yeah.
didn't.
I
so
make
that
a
people have
motion
it on
to
record.
approve capital improvement commission for $750.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes.
So it's there.
Great, so then you have your activities, fees, and associations.
We beat that horse pretty hard. Really came up with it.
What's the total?
141, 342.
Expense, insurance and pension.
Now, cemetery association, that ended up being 20.
Yeah,
Yes.
we revisited that one and cut it back a little bit. So that,
Do we
legal
need to-
expense,
Hold on. Did you, Peg, do you show us with a motion on each line item under activities, fees, and
What
associations?
you did is you made some adjustments on the cemetery association, you knocked them to the down. And then I have a line item when you approved the budget of 146, 342.
Okay, so what you would have,
Doing that on the third.
okay, so this total right now is 141, 342. So you would need a motion.
so I'll move we approve activities, fees, and associations for 141, 342.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Discussion?
Did we go through this line by line?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I'll shut up.
All right, any more
Did we
discussion?
stop on some of these because we had a question about their value?
We discussed them, we kicked them around, but it's,
In other words, with, where are we? New Directions there, and,
Yes, we got a whole platform of stuff
Right.
from them.
but they really didn't tell us what they're doing.
well, they went up because New Directions moved up to Community Health, I believe. They're combined together now.
Right.
So that was, and then there's a bunch of these are, we have no choice, we have to pay for them. Memorial Day, they asked for $200 for more flags or poles or something like that.
Those for a flag outside
Yeah,
here.
yeah. And then,
You were beating up 4 Town Fair.
what?
You were beating up 4 Town Fair.
Yeah, Fort Town
That's
Fair.
what we were beating up. Thanks, Peg. I knew it
That
was
moved to
something.
sanitation because we are responsible for the sanitation this year, so.
And the Greater Hartford Transport District.
That's the one you were in.
Yeah, because we had the 5 bus stops on the 5 you were inquiring about.
Right, we got something we can't use, but we're paying into it. I mean, I don't know how many people actually ride down there. I don't know how they would get to the bus other than walking.
If you want to talk about things you're paying for that you're not using, housing education is certainly one.
I think we had that discussion last time, too.
Housing education, Jason?
Yeah, we can't even quantify what that is.
Okay.
So let's get rid of it.
We said
That's
what
the
it,
first half
what
of
it
your
is, but we
motion.
didn't know how it would be, how it was being referred
Call your
out.
question and then start over.
All right.
So we can vote this down, we can kill this motion. Voting it down, we can redo it, we can kick it out and then.
No, you know what? If you-
No, it's $1,800, let's do it. We gotta, unless you gotta do it the next time
Good
around.
point, Jen. So for all those in favor of passing as is?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye and aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed?
hey, I mean, I'm willing to take it out.
What did you say, Bill?
He has additional things he'd like to
Pass
take
it.
off, so he's opposed to passing it at this time.
Next time.
Next time, okay.
Yeah, because it's not even gonna.
So it still clearly passes 3-2.
So the two are Steve and Cindy in favor?
No, it was Jim, Steve, and Cindy in favor, and Kathy and Bill opposed.
It's good, we're mixing it up now.
All right. Legal expenses.
Legal expenses.
I think we already went
Yeah,
over that one already.
Health insurance and pension, we did the last meeting, I don't think there's unfortunately anything we do with that.
Do we show a motion as solidifying that final line of insurance and pension line, 3,514,047?
No more happy news, Gail?
No, I mean, the fact of the matter is they paid $1.10
Yep, so you got it.
for every premium dollar they collected, they paid out $1.10,
3,514,047.
which is scary.
With which line is it?
The
Perfect.
health and,
Part hypertension?
no, the health life insurance, our health insurance, that's why the premium is 15.
Are we allowed to pool our health, essentially benefit compensation?
What were you saying with that, 55?
That was something that was getting around for a while, I can't remember if it passed or
The only one was
Oh,
the state.
I'm not even there yet.
Yeah.
That was the only thing around, but there was no
So,
savings.
IT.
They looked at that. And you'd be committed to 3 years, like admitted to thousands.
Looking again, but I didn't find much.
Under IT, information technology.
What'd you find?
We're at 2.76.
Yeah.
All right. What, Steve, what are you saying?
We're 2.76 right now.
All right. So information technology, did you guys have anything?
I couldn't find anything there.
185,811, yep.
Software's what's killing us. And now it's gone down. So expensive.
And then sanitation. 905.
Let's just get rid of it. Everybody start burning their garbage again. Jeez.
Well,
That's a chunk of change right there.
this comes up every year. There's
I got an
ways
idea.
to change that.
Why
What
don't
do
you
you
guys
mean?
just cut the disposal, so they'll collect it and just let it pile up?
Jason, where's your house again? Right in your backyard. What ways would be that, Joanne?
We've talked every year about it, but again, it's not something you're gonna do when you're in this part of the, who told me, where were we when we were discussing this? And I didn't bring up trash, and somebody said, I'm so disappointed, it's the first year you didn't bring it up. I can't remember who said that.
Joe,
Huh?
maybe Joe.
Maybe it was Joe. Yeah, maybe it was Joe.
I think my parents' town in Connecticut pays separately for their trash removal.
A lot of towns do, but what you find is, to
It
Steve's
ends
point
up
about a
on-
per capita cost, I'll make these numbers up, but if you break down the per capita cost of trash collection, it's like $250 out of your property taxes, but if you were to contract for it privately as an individual homeowner, it costs you $350.
Yeah.
So the town carries it, but it's actually a cost savings to you as the user.
And you end up with a lot of garbage on the side of the road.
Yeah, I mean, you could cut $1 million out of the budget, and then it's gonna actually increase what people are paying out of their pocket, which is
Right. Well, that may-
counterproductive
yeah.
at the end of the day in terms of protecting the taxpayer.
It'd be nice if they all understood that.
And a box of matches.
So did we make a
That's
motion?
good. Well, it's good that we're talking about it.
Sanitation was 29,
905, 505, right?
901.
It's the
901.
service provided.
No, it's 905.
Contingency is.
We originally talked about, there was an
Fine.
original motion, I think, to take Fort Town Fair out, but we can't because it's, where the,
Maybe I just couldn't see. Go back and look.
so it should be 905. Oh, let me just make sure it's
So
correct.
are we down at the
I'll move we
bottom
approve
here?
sanitation for $905,555.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes, brings us down to contingency.
The USA hauling guys, just so you know, are like notoriously good neighbors. They're fair operators with us and have been for a long, long time.
Okay, contingency.
We haven't approved the CIP though.
Okay, we're on contingency,
We're on
so
contingency.
I thought we approved that last time.
and do you show us with contingency approved, or did we just beat it up? She hasn't approved.
Okay.
So you're good. So now you're on to capital
Which we
improvement.
did not. In my,
Nope, you did not.
no, in my thoughts, because we discussed this a lot last time, I did take $30,000 out of CIP allocation in my thought process the other night at home.
When you were getting to your number.
Yes, that's how I arrived at my 2.4%.
Anybody else information on the capital improvement?
Where are we at on the very bottom at this point?
2.76.
That's where you're getting your 2.4.
We didn't look at revenue though, we
Yeah.
didn't change
I don't
revenue.
have, so my only revenue was to increase rand, and I don't know if that's possible or not.
I think that's fair.
Possible to bring rand up.
Did you, oh yeah, did you get to talk to him, Bob?
I did, but I didn't get a hard figure from him at all. And by, I think 20,000 is the fair.
That was my revenue.
If we're, are we approaching this, and just so we're on the same page, are we approaching this with the attitude that if it passes, this will take care of things for a year?
I'm approving this because I think it's a fair budget for the town.
Right.
And hopefully the voters will see that, understanding that when they look, well, of course, I don't know if they look at the revenue side, but I mean, the two big hit, I mean, less revenue and our health insurance and premium, I mean, that's $358,000 increase in health and life insurance. I mean, that's a killer.
I know, but if we can't decrease other departments, I have a problem with decreasing CIP, and I think it actually started higher, didn't
Yeah,
Mhm.
Starts like 700.
it? Seriously higher, I mean, not just.
yeah.
Yeah, in your book, it'll show you the 3%, the 2.5,
thank
the
you.
2, so you just gotta. It's
I
on
mean, that's what I'm
page-
remembering, hang on, I gotta look it up, 'cause
Where's the back?
Well, it takes you down, that 30 grand takes you down a tenth of a point, from 2.76 to 2.66.
yeah, but let's be real, if it's 2.66, they're still gonna vote it down.
I
If it's
understand that, and we're gonna be back
2.76.
here again, and we're gonna.
So
be
why are we
cutting
gonna
it.
bang CIP any more than it's been hit?
Amen, brother.
Can I put that in?
Go right ahead.
It already
It
is.
scared the hell out of me when he agrees with me, Peggy, you put
I
that
love
in.
it, I love it.
Because they started, what, 895? Oh, well, I gotta take out the lease thing, so they started at 800,000. And they've been reduced to 667 for that. I really like, if we're gonna go for this, and, I mean, for me, that's the infrastructure, that's keeping,
understand.
I mean, you know, we have doors that fall off, because I just wanna make things work.
That was FY 17 adopted budget. The FY 18 request was 667,006. Just,
I have that problem in this budget.
Yes, yeah. This is last year. And this is their request. So they were not, the way I read it, cut from what they requested. Yeah.
All right, so we can leave it alone.
After all that.
I'm just a suggestion, like I said,
I don't know.
I wasn't
I'm
gonna
telling you how I
suggest
arrived at
raising.
my, I'm telling you how I arrived at my
Well,
math.
we're at 2.76 now, if the freaking 0.2 or 3 isn't gonna make a difference.
I
I
My
think if
two
we
point
go
four
back,
percent may not have made a difference either, but I'm just telling you how I arrived at my 2.4%.
right, no, I'd like to add another, more into it, but I
I'd like to
don't
add more
think,
to it too.
I don't think we could get a budget passed, but if we can put in some infrastructure stuff.
Do we have a problem with the formulas?
What? Cindy, was that, were you talking to us, or were you talking?
Yeah, I think might be,
Hmm?
there might be a problem with the Board of Education formula.
Oh.
No, that's further down, but yeah.
All right, well, let me finish with this. Did we make a motion on this yet? Did I make a motion?
Still
for-
talking about it.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion that CIP be funded, that includes the allocation and that lease purchase for 761,674.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How does that make sense?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Aye.
20 million.
You and I are opposed over there.
Aye.
No, I heard you, Steve, I didn't hear Cindy.
Aye. So,
Oh, sorry.
All right,
Is there a
motion
short-
clearly passes.
Well, it's a question of-
So debt service,
Some of my three
What did-
cents.
were we talking about something in debt
Mine
service
is
that,
messed up.
you know, was one
I
of your,
I don't see anything.
was one of your
I don't see anything.
points
No, I
that you
just
wanted
don't
to bring
know
up?
what that one was.
Or no? That wasn't one?
No, we double
do,
checked.
do,
So there was no motion.
I don't know, do backwards, can't you just?
Yeah, I got it, 22,571, 718.
That's in our revenue section, we'll end up
We just
there.
didn't ever approve that.
Yeah, we
I
did
don't
not
think there was
approve
a
debt
motion
service.
For debt service, but because I said that I had to double.
She wanted to double check.
All right, so it's double checked?
Yeah.
I
Let's
move
double check.
We approve debt service at $1,150,000.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, brings to Board of Ed, we haven't even done revenues either though, so we have to do those.
Now, we had that in at 2% increase,
I
is
see
that
what I
correct,
did.
over last year?
Yes.
I see.
Yep. Now, Gail did bring to my attention, Gail, where's your paper that you brought to my attention?
It's in that packet.
Yeah. A couple things that
They're positive.
she just is, no.
Okay.
Well, not negative, they're concerned about, and we've talked about a lot of these. Number one, that the teacher pensions are not budgeted was one, and maybe she wasn't here when we started talking about that, I'm not sure, but we talked much about that because it hasn't been passed, we're uncertain of where it's gonna go. Steve, by working where he is, feels that it seems they're going that way, but that they're going to do it in phases.
Well, they,
or-
Aerosimowitz talked about doing it in phases, a 5-year phase-in, but that hasn't gone over well, and depending on who you talk to, you get a variety of opinions other than governor's budget is DOA, the 27th and 28th are appropriations and finance, they're gonna have to some kind of negotiation. The Republican caucus isn't putting out their budget till early May at the best, so roll the dice.
Okay, and the other thing she wanted to bring was the, and I think we talked about this in the first presentation with the Board of Ed, is that the ECS going away and being replaced with the special education reduced. But the reduction hits the town side. You're gonna stop me if I mess this up, right? The reduction of the ECS hits the town side. But if the special education grant part goes through, that gets paid directly to the Board of Ed. So if they do that, it will hit you on the town side in the decrease in revenue, and it will bump the Board of Ed with their special ed because it will be paid directly to them. So Gail was uncertain of how that would affect after we were done with the budget cycle.
That would take, if it's a direct reimbursement, then that needs to come out of the Board of Ed budget.
Well, that's why I think with that caveat, they told them that then you could change your MBR.
Right.
Say that, make a round number, say it was $100,000 and you could decrease your MBR by $100,000. But how would you do that after your budget's done?
I know.
So that is the
And
cluster.
And the MBR, as I understand the MBR proposal, you can only go below the MBR if you're not an alliance district.
Correct.
And we are, at this point,
We are still an
I
alliance
think,
district, aren't
unclear.
we? Correct?
So far, we have
Okay.
not been told we're not. We're off focus monitoring, but as far as we have been told, we're still on the list of alliance
Right.
districts.
So that being said, the
You wouldn't be able to do
governor's
that
proposal
after your
on the other-
budget was done anyway.
They can't possibly, I'm sorry, not my,
No, it's
not my
okay,
meeting.
but no, it's okay, that's why you're here.
They can't possibly make a change like that after every town in Connecticut has set their budgets and not create some sort of provision to allow,
One would think.
Which is exactly what they're talking about doing.
they would have to make a provision. They can't expect that then they'd be handing all these Board of Ed, special ed money and,
Right.
and cutting that entire number from and not allowing everybody to go, okay, cross it off this column and put it in this one.
Yep,
That wouldn't
I
make
agree.
any sense whatsoever.
I agree.
However,
I was gonna say, however.
we are talking about the legislature,
Exactly. And I would hope
not
that
a
they.
bastion of intellectual giants these days.
There's the vote of confidence.
Yeah, right.
So this whole proposal is
Yeah.
clearly not created by
Yes.
a giant pile of brilliant minds, thank you.
So, but anyways, that was Gail's concerns, that she was going over the stuff and she wanted to make sure. Huh?
Concern for everyone.
Yeah.
Before we go to the Board of Education line, can we look at the revenues?
Sure.
That's what we're doing. Well,
That's what,
Bob talked to Rand, and I guess I have to make a motion to add $20,000 back into the building revenue to bring it up to $200,000.
is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion clearly passes.
Where's that somewhere here?
All right,
It's expenditure.
did we make a motion on that transfer from fund balance? Is that where we ended?
I thought we did.
We did, yes.
Okay.
We beat it around, and then, I made the motion, so
Did
yes.
you beat her down a little more?
Yes.
Who was the second on your motion?
That's was Steve.
The hand down there?
He just did it. What? He just made a motion to do it, what do you mean?
What was the motion? I didn't hear it.
It was to increase the revenue to 200 for building department. No, because I'm looking and
If we were to have another
even numbers, you know,
50,000 for the
OCD
fund
on the
balance,
sheet.
we'd be closer to two. If we were to add another 50,000, I know I'm gonna make you scream. The fund balance transfer, that would bring us almost to two. I've added correctly.
Make a motion, see what happens.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjust the transfer from the fund balance to 300,000, oh no, 500,000?
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? Can you do that just quickly so we can see
What was,
what
I'm sorry,
his,
I was
That's right.
trying.
his motion was to make the fund balance contribution 500 instead of 450.
He won't get there.
You just want, and also,
I'm a dreamer. Woo!
where are you going, huh? Up
It's
top, up,
Right there, down.
down. First
Down.
line under
Right
local
under estimated.
revenue.
It'll still be in the 2.4.
There you go,
Thank you.
500.
Yeah.
Make it what?
500.
Just bring it so we can see
To get to my
down.
2.4.
And the motion is on the table, we're
Out
just,
of the
Right,
CIP, so it will actually.
all the way down so I can see the,
Yes.
it's still,
Yikes.
and remember, this,
I just want to make sure.
just
that-
remember too, when we're over that mill rate of 32, brings your whole motor vehicle.
Although
into the
I
budget.
did read in there that we're supposed to be able to go back to the state, if you look in the revenue,
Yep,
for reimbursement for the difference between our mill rate and the 32.
Yeah, good luck with that.
where's that
It's
gonna
really
come
small.
from?
The check's in the mail.
What apple tree is that gonna fall from?
I mean, it's only 0.17, which is
I
a
know,
lot.
but
No,
I'm
it's not, it's
saying
just for the whole thing.
supposedly, I don't know, I just, when I was going over those revenues.
well, we've been taking chances all the way through
Oh,
this
of course
sucker.
we have.
So I'm not gonna worry about point.
Castle built on a foundation of sand, guys.
Absolutely.
Bye, right.
Big wave comes.
Pirate
in, really.
All right, so any more discussion about that motion on the table? All right, all those in favor?
All right. Now that, die.
Don't worry, Jim, if I voted, I'd be with you, but I can't vote, so. All those opposed?
Nay.
Opposed? Nay.
Did you say anything?
No, because I made the motion, I thought that meant I was automatically in favor of it.
Okay, but you still gotta say it, so Peg can document you. So
Yeah, I was
2 in
feeling lonely
favor,
here.
3
Well,
opposed.
no,
I'm not totally opposed, I just think. it's
Okay, well,
something-
that one died, so.
Yeah, but I just think we need to look at it later instead of now. I'm just not there
I
yet.
just wanted you to have your opportunity.
Well, wait, now, let's be honest, what if this passes?
That's good. I hope it passes.
So what if we were to give the $50,000 back to the taxpayers, which is what I'm talking about?
We've got nothing left for next
My
year.
only issue is, and
Anything left for next year anyway?
Next year, you'd have to match that again.
the numbers.
No,
are-
you'd slowly decrease it.
that was where I was coming from, because, and they gave us the numbers, and we were at, I think that we're $700 and something thousand, $790 some thousand, I know it's in here, too many papers. $790 some thousand above 17% right now. We're gonna cut that,
We've
More
probably
than in
more
half.
now by the-
So we're gonna be
by the
buying
time we did this.
19%.
Where are you now?
so we're not,
Well,
but,
this was just what,
I know you gave it to us the last time, and I know it's,
We have just printed it over again.
here it is.
yeah,
$790.
that was
Look
what the
at
fund
that.
balance was at the audit.
Yep.
And then these are the donations.
So for 2+ hours, we've moved 4/100ths of a tenth, 4/100ths of a tenth of a percent.
But I
I
still
still
think
think
we
you
need
guys
to,
have to look at that a little bit more, but that's my own.
So what we're at the end of the road here, other than that fund, in other words, we're looking at revenue, and other than Board of Ed, which I don't want to cut,
They're already at 2,
I mean, they're at 2% now, right?
yes.
So, so if
$442,503.
we add the, I know I'm beating the dead horse, but if we add the 50,000 in,
It doesn't change the 2%
Yeah.
at the bottom.
I'm gonna make a motion for a 5-minute recess.
oh, sure.
Okay.
So
Second?
moved.
Second.
Second,
All those in favor?
aye.
You're just killing me. You're killing me, Gerald.
Where's those jelly beans?
You don't need any jelly beans.
Don't
There you
buy
go.
those 'cause you just-
I forgot you were back,
Just
and you
one.
guys are so quiet.
They're hoping they're
Jason
hoping.
and Dick speak up once in a while, though Dick's been really quiet.
Oh, it's my mojo. You guys were going down a path, I didn't feel like breaking up the vibe.
Jesus.
I got a whole laundry list, but you guys are hitting substantially.
Oh, my gosh. I'd say we're rolling dice, but that might be considered, not PC.
Bill, do you have your totals on the town side? Bottom line total for what you would have reduced if they took everything you threw out
if
there?
everything I threw out there is done,
Yeah, but you ended up $2,000 ahead in the long term, I think.
yeah, we took an extra 2,000 out, so.
So we actually took out more than what he was anticipating.
I-
But you, no, you didn't, because you didn't give me my, you didn't take my, you didn't take my, CIP. If my math was right, I
How much were you gonna reduce CIP?
30,000.
Oh,
And it took you down a tenth of a percent.
It took me, I came up with minus 55, I think it was, out of the 10.
I came up with 46.7 without touching CIP.
So you were hit with some places I didn't.
Yeah, I was a little more of a Grinch.
Oh, come on.
What?
I'm willing to wipe.
I call it being a realist.
I got my notes, you guys will have a round two.
The town, I brought the town, when I was all done, the town was at a 3.7% increase.
I don't have that math.
That's the way it worked. I did it in the spreadsheet on my computer. And Emily's gone, so I was gonna take her computer, but I don't know her password to get her computer, so I'm screwed.
Hashtag parent fail.
There are multiple ways to do it. I will show you how.
Yeah.
Whoa!
You can get around that?
Oh, my son does it on a regular basis. He's talking
Tax your
to tricks.
computer?
Unbelievably so on a multitude of occasions.
I was in Syracuse, so I was gonna steal her laptop.
Mrs. Rakely, how you doing?
Because my iPad don't work,
Got
so
anything new or exciting?
I do this kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah, you can't, but just, you have to move screens too many times.
I thought you were getting pizza tonight, Gerald.
I did.
They doesn't matter to us.
You of all people getting a pizza, that, not, or you're asking the wrong person.
Dick brings it donuts.
Yeah.
Only in our budget, not theirs.
Did you see there's Dunkin' Donuts opening up right next to Jerry's Donuts?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's stupid.
That's not cool, man.
I hope the Dunkin' Donuts goes
It won't
broke,
hurt
because anybody
Jerry's
that
at
knows
all.
the difference
You don't
in
think so?
donuts.
I would actually go to Dunkin' Donuts for the coffee and walk right next door for the donut.
No, Jerry, I don't drink coffee, but Glenn says he hates Dunkin' Donuts coffee. He's at Jerry's every day.
Is he really?
It's for $1. You get a large coffee for $1 at Jerry's.
Yeah, much
Dunkin' Donuts is overpriced.
Overpriced and
I love
underpriced.
when
The greeting center is the cheapest stuff they can
It's all
buy.
gonna be brand new.
Let's
You can't put theirs on.
3 years, they cut the insides.
Three nice teas.
Where do you get more of those in
I
town?
think so.
We got three.
We got 4 in
Plants.
the Shell station.
I do have actually questions for Kathy though, so.
You grind your own?
Is everybody
You
finished?
know what, it's gonna be another good place, is one thing.
No, I got a grinder,
Visible
automatic.
person. She's nice to everybody.
Lance, I don't know, she's all.
What'd you spill?
Yeah, she's been open for a week already.
That ought to be good.
Well, I've had mine facing me all night, so I knew who I was.
Are we back?
Yes.
On 83 Millington, really good.
I thought you were talking to me. All
I used
right,
to be a dentist.
I'm gonna call the meeting back to order at
Not
8:20.
So
You're
we need to
missing your
put the,
secretary.
Oh yeah, in the bathroom. I'm not calling them. Well, I could because I'm really not
The
gonna.
fund balance needs to be
I
changed.
can,
back.
she would get mad if I touched her notes.
Thank you, I didn't want
North
you
Chapman's
messed up,
property.
Gail.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm not opposed to giving back.
So we back to or not back to?
So you have,
No, we gotta wait for Peg.
Yeah, but what if
I mean, we could be back, but.
What if we
We'll hold that motion, you get 2%.
You would have
yeah.
This is like getting a refund in the mail.
Glad you already thought that.
Yep.
So give them the 50,000. We're not gonna save it for next year, that's the whole.
I do have some other questions for Board of Ed though when we come back in, because like there's no BOE approval, they're all different.
Do you know how many things I'm missing on the ER? This is my Friday night. I just sit up.
I really didn't know. I mean, I know
Think
all
about
about
everything all week.
I got
Ready
you.
was the Cheney boy.
You participate, I'm just here because I don't know what they're gonna talk about.
Not to a private matter on the Cheney took it, not to a private.
Defense.
Yeah,
I think-
exactly.
I'm pretty sure this is my 9th meeting in the last 10 business days.
I
I'm
asked
on my
Mike for a meeting.
Sixth meeting this week, so
I'm
I'm there.
say, there were not.
What was the point of buying a new house?
The only night I didn't have meetings last
It's where I keep my car at night, apparently. My girlfriend really likes it.
I'm glad.
No, I'm just.
She's gonna always pay extra to me.
So I was talking to her about, it's election year, and I was like, oh, you never know, maybe I'll end up spending more time at home, and she goes, no, we gotta get out into some doors. And I was like, what?
It's really nice.
She enjoys her private time. Her, the dog, the food.
Motion to go back in session.
Second.
All right, so Peg's back. Have a motion, we're gonna come back into order at 8:22. All right, so we're still on the revenues and then to Board of Ed. So is there any more on the revenues? Jim's still kind of beating around his general fund. He doesn't like that you failed his 500, so maybe he'll make it 525? No.
That's how negotiations work.
What'd you say, 550?
No, I did not say 525.
I would love for us to revisit that because it's 50,000 more.
I'll split the difference, go 475.
Okay, second.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor for 475.
Me because it's discussion to me, so what is the motion and what do we do?
He's coming. His
I
words are
will
coming.
take 475 from the fund balance.
Yes.
And
Jim
good.
second.
And Jim seconded.
Yes.
So is there any discussion? We are now going to put the transfer from fund balance to $475,000. Any discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Opposed?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Opposed?
Opposed.
4 in favor, Stephen opposed.
How did the mill rate go up? I was gonna say the mill rate went up.
Because she changed the,
Oh, I missed
did
something?
you change the motor vehicle tax? Oh, it went up because she had 500 in there just to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
We liked 500 better, some other people didn't.
I thought it was 32.7
For
so much, it was without
$75.
better.
Sure, with the
No, it
500
was,
in there, just saying.
217 with the 500,000.
Yeah,
Last time we looked
Now
at
we're
the
down
mill
to-
rate.
Yep. And Board of Ed. Hey, Kat, quick question, only because I had it highlighted last time, didn't ask you last time, and every year it seems like it's in there, but I don't see it. Board of Ed professional development. I know it's only $1,000, but do you do anything?
It's used for conferences, to go to an annual conference, and it's also for other central office conferences that
That
other
says Board of Ed though,
administrators
so
go.
it's not you guys?
It is us. There's things that we go to and can go, new board, there's things for new board members to go to. And there's a annual conference that's open to all board members that we have some people attend. Depends on who's available.
That was my highlighted item from last time, and I never asked. All right,
So we're in Board of Ed now.
yes, we are. All right, are there any more Board of Ed questions, or? Oh, yes, I do have, sorry.
Okay.
I have a question that, and I
I didn't bring anything because
That's
I didn't
okay.
think I would be asked to participate.
Yeah, of course you would be. I mean, it's our workshop. Whoever's affected gets to participate. I didn't go to your meeting the other night, whatever the thing, but one thing I didn't know, and I need you to explain to me. Transportation is a huge cost, right? And I understand that, but we transport to East Catholic, which is a private school. That confuses me. So I'm just wondering why.
We have to.
But we don't have to.
I understand what you're saying. Yes, we do have to. It's not a choice.
state law.
To a private
It's not a-
school, it's a
yeah.
state law?
It dates way back, and it's got something to do with how things were set up, and it's in
Wait a
there,
minute,
and
you just
have
told
to
me
do
the
it.
conversation we had last week that.
I know,
because-
and I
just
found-
because it is, doesn't make it right. You
No,
said
I
that
know,
to me
but
last
there's
week.
regulations that we have to. We have to.
Because it's
But what about kids who
Catholic?
go to Lewis Chafee? Do you transport them?
No.
You know, we approve it.
I don't know all the details of
Okay.
why it's
I'm just-
different. I honestly don't, because you know I told you last week that I didn't think we should be transporting kids to a private school, because that's a
Right,
private
that's what
school.
you-
That was my personal opinion, until I found out that there are regulations that force us to do that, and that's why we
To
do that.
specific schools,
Specifically East Catholic.
specifically East Catholic.
Oh,
It's
22.
the only, it's
How about
the
the
only private school.
Northwest, what's the other Catholic
No,
one?
that came from
There is another, there's not in Connecticut, there's not another one, is there? Is it Northwest Catholic, oh, no, maybe that is in West
There's a
Hartford.
Northwest Catholic in Connecticut, I
Maybe
think.
there
It's
is.
in West Hartford.
West Hartford.
Yeah, because
It's right next to Hall.
I think it's the only, like, Hartford,
Oh.
because South Catholic gone, and
started.
Oh, cool. We're in discussion, go ahead and tell me,
To the
Rachel.
parochial school in Manchester, were allowed to ride on the Howell Cheney bus to the trade school. That's how it started. Years ago, many years ago.
I don't want to get you guys off topic, but can I just lay down a marker that I think you need to revisit the road maintenance stuff
Okay, I'll put it.
when you're finished?
Yep, I will write that down so I don't forget as we're talking. Okay, so it's, well, okay, whatever. I can get this off later, because you're saying it's tradition, but she's saying it's
Well,
it's a
that's how it
state, so-
started. Who knows if it made it in the
Okay.
regulation, but that's
All right.
how it started.
Here's,
This is
That's-
like 25
all right.
years ago,
That was just my,
when my
okay.
son was gone.
All right, gotcha.
like I said, I spent some time on this yesterday afternoon for quite a while, and to get to my 2.4%, I did have a $100,000 cut to the Board of Education to do that.
That week, the 1 week now, or?
From the current number of 222,
2257171.
yes, I cut $100,000 from it.
So you would go from an increase of $442,583, which equates to a 2% increase, down to $342,583.
That's how I arrived at my 2.4%, yes. And just, I looked at the percentage of town expense to the percent of the budget of the Board of Education, and each of them were hit, in my numbers, within 1/100% of each of, I took 3.8% from or 3.9% from the town, and I took 0.44% from the Board of Ed.
Okay, can you do me a favor? only because it's not that I don't trust your math. I just, so if you changed, took the 100,000 out, what's the percentage increase?
2.49,
No, on their line, not on, I just want to know their line.
1.55.
Yeah,
22,471.
Now, based upon taking that $100,000 out, Bill, are we pension funded in that number? How do you fund the pension?
I'm guessing no.
No.
No, I know it's not in there right now, but that, she's laughing,
They,
but
they said they didn't need the
they
budget.
didn't
for it.
budget it.
They said we didn't need it.
So
Well,
don't
they
come back to the
chose
town
not
side, is what
to
you're saying.
budget in that.
So if we
It's
did
can't
that,
come
if we,
down.
so if I had budgeted $1 million to pay pensions, so you're telling me that you wouldn't have cut it?
No, we wouldn't cut it. Let's be honest. we wouldn't cut it.
So if this,
That was a
so
waste of
if,
time to put that in.
I make a motion
So if
for
the-
22 million, oh,
One person.
Hold on,
I'm
Jenny's
sorry.
asking a question, let's go one at a time, please.
so if the Board of Education was cut to 1.55% increase, it failed 3 times, it would go up to 2%. You're giving a incentive for people who want to increase the Board of Ed budget to say no.
But they don't have the incentive ever to vote yes.
So they,
The people that would maybe normally say, yes, I want money for the budget, is gonna look at this and say, well, this doesn't even give them the 2%. If I vote no this time, they'll get a 2%.
And I thought of that when you said it too, Bill. I said, oh my gosh, what you're doing is giving somebody an incentive to vote the budget down, because the Board of Education would get more money if you voted
you
it
could
down
look
3
at that from the
times.
town side too, on your side, some of your guys aren't even 2%.
Now, why not?
I'm just saying to that argument.
I'm making a motion.
Okay, let them, wait, they're just, okay, go ahead, make your motion.
Excuse me. I'm
Well, no,
allowed
but
to-
just don't, I don't wanna say,
I
remember,
know.
we're not talking over
I
each
heard
other.
enough. I'm getting tired, so I make a motion of,
Oh.
I don't care. That's what I can say if I want.
Yes, you can.
910-900, Board of Directors, I make a motion for 22,400,000, shut up, Bill. 471,718, get me laughing.
Okay, it's the Board of Education.
Board of Education.
Yeah, what did I say?
Board of Directors.
No.
All right, so there's a motion on the floor to put the Board of Education in at 22,471,718. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion, please. Now, let's finish discussion. Were you done, Cindy?
Well, it just, that's what we're doing. Okay, that's the incentive out there.
I mean, I told you, I mean, I sat at home, and traditionally, we threw a budget out last year, 2.05% increase. It got blown, shot down. I mean, we're gonna,
They're gonna
we're at
shoot-
2.49 right now, which is, I think, where I calculated out at 2.42 when I got all done with what I did at home.
You're close.
What if
Maybe
it
your
was a,
$500,000
number
if it was
was
a
in
2%, what would the mill
2%.
would still lead to a mill
What is that
rate
down to a
increase
mill rate
that
increase?
would be unacceptable anyway.
So you're willing to take $100,000 out of the education, but you're not willing to take $100,000 out of the senior center.
He's not willing.
Kind of a
I don't know.
catch-22.
Yeah, I'm not, I think.
I was willing.
I know, I
Yeah, I
understand that.
know, you all were, yeah. I don't know what the answer is. You're still over 32, so.
Yeah, by about 18 grand.
That's what my number was at home, was
So,
32.
oh, my 500 would have just, my 500 would have solved that problem, that 18 grand, I'm just saying.
Hey, 150 out of this and 50 out of that would help too. You can go back if you want.
We gotta vote on this.
It doesn't matter what you do, it's still
Be forced to do this.
2.49,
So just
2.76,
warn me and I'm gonna
Still
roll
gonna
away, I'm gonna roll far away.
based upon statistical history.
The anti-education people will love it because they can now vote against the 2% on the Board of Ed because they want to separate the budgets anyway, so.
We
Might
can
actually
separate the
pass.
budgets.
You
Oh,
vote separately.
Board
I
of
mean, we
Ed.
went through the town budget line by line, and
There's nothing left to cut.
What was the, on the town budget side, what was their increase? Yeah.
Probably 2.7.
no, it's a little higher than it was.
Oh, that's because of the change in the healthcare costs.
Oh, that
Right.
is true.
Which we have as well.
When it went up.
Oh,
There's
significantly,
one,
we're on the same plan.
they deal through the same, do you not?
But
Yes.
The
your
same.
It is
rates
the
were a
same
little bit
plan.
lower than ours, your increases.
So
You didn't
let's
have like
discuss the final
18.67%.
How does that work that theirs would be
No,
lower?
It's always
and-
been negotiated together. We double checked that after we had that last meeting,
Yeah.
that it's
Is that the
exactly the
difference in
same,
the plan?
that we've always done.
Are you all
in
hybrid?
number, in recent years, I won't say always, in recent years, we have always had the exact same percentage increase.
Are you all the hybrid plan? Everybody's?
At this point, everyone is on the high deductible.
The high
plan, I
deductible.
believe. I believe we have everybody now.
That's why.
And
Yeah,
you guys
that's
are
why
not
your-
all
yours
still
is
on the high
lower.
deductible. Okay, so that's the difference in the, you're all on the high deductible.
Okay, so maybe
Well,
your
so
high
it's-
deductible
we
has
still
the
have-
same increase as ours
Yeah.
does, but your other piece
Right.
has a different
Right.
a different cost. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
does
sense.
Well, that worked to cut 30,000.
I got a $250,000 problem for you when you're ready.
Okay, so hold on,
We don't want to hear from
we're
you.
not done. There's a motion on the floor. All right, is there any more discussion? All right, all those in favor of Jim's motion, say aye.
Right.
I don't have the revenue side.
Say, because I can't keep track. Aye, 3. Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Motion passes.
I think we're gonna be back at this again, I think you're gonna have a couple more.
All right, but, we've been asked to revisit roads by Jason. What is your,
Well, here's what he was pointing out. And I discussed it last year. We've got TAR money listed as revenue here.
But no offsetting expenditure. So you're taking $267,000 from the state, counting it as revenue, that's just offsetting the general fund expenditures. So you're, I don't remember what's in road maintenance, is it 350?
No,
You're really
right-
only spending
right now-
80,000.
Isn't that what I had?
say that again?
So the town is spending $350,000 in, and what
I
we
don't think
have,
we had 350, did we?
well, whatever it is, what's the number? Yeah. No, no.
That's what I was trying to point
I am
out
sure.
before, I thought.
And I thought this last
Well,
year, and Tim kept arguing with me,
yeah.
and it's
I remembered.
there's revenue with no offsetting expenditure. So what's going on is you have the road maintenance for $300,000. You're getting $267 from the state for TAR, which we've been saying is we're spending $300,000 plus the $267, but there's no offsetting expenditure. So the $267 is being offset by the $300,000. So the town is only spending $27,000, $23,000 on $33,000 on roads. Because we're taking the money and just
Gotcha.
parking it and not actually doing with it what we're supposed to do. And that's why, as we keep whittling down that road maintenance thing, we essentially don't pay for roads. It's all the state. So as soon as that state grant goes away, we are
We have,
screwed.
yeah, I understand.
Well, but we're throwing
Right now, it's there.
the
Right, exactly.
267,000 into the general fund, just calling it income. or-
Correct.
Yes.
But what we have said last year and for several years.
Are we allowed to
is-
spend it on
We're
other
not
Yeah.
things?
We're spending.
He's just saying what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a year where there's no TAR money.
That's true, we're spending.
Should we break out that
Period.
expense
End of
separate?
discussion. So,
We're not spending less than they're getting, we're spending less than we're in trouble. We
Yeah.
can't go less.
Although it isn't,
Just have to do it.
right, it's not a 267
Just let them all go for a little
problem
while.
with
I
our
don't even
budget.
pay attention to them right now.
Which is, we're not spending 500.
yeah, we spend a total of $300,000, period, end of discussion.
Me.
Think about it.
Is that what happened last year too?
You guys have to do the final number though before we go, so we're gonna finalize this tonight. No, you can decide not to finalize it tonight, and, but you can finalize your number and your percentage increase, you can put it on your agenda to,
I knew that Tim
I
and I were
asked
doing
that
different
we
things.
have a discussion with just the board members talking about finalizing it tonight. In other words, I would like to, but I think it should be. an
we can,
agreement.
yeah, we can then
Okay.
pose it to the floor, absolutely.
Okay.
Do you wanna
That's
do,
what-
you wanna do that tonight?
I see no reason to keep banging away at this, there's nothing left to take from it.
Okay,
Unless it fails, and then if it fails, then we go back at it.
absolutely. All right, so we're gonna close to comments,
Right,
and you're gonna make your final motion.
right, if I can see the bottom. Much as it frightens me. So we're looking at,
And remember, you have to do
Mill rate too.
mill rate,
right, all the way across the,
budget.
of the general, just the general
You
fund
don't
part.
see your mill rate there, though, do you?
Mill rate is
32.09.
Bill, why don't you make that motion, I'll second it.
I don't care.
Bill's gonna make the
Get all your
motion, 'cause he
numbers
can read
though
it.
in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have 3.03, you need the mill rate, what else you need? And the number, right?
Yeah, they're both on the screen. 37,018.
yeah. Oh, there it is, yeah.
Yeah, 37,
Your total budget is 37,
939.
937,
937, yes, 937.
oh,
And a
18.
mill rate of 32.09, that's all we need, right?
32.09, yep.
All right, I move we approve the 2017-2018 budget at $37,937,018 and a mill rate of 32.09.
Second.
Okay, is there any more discussion?
I think this is gonna go down miserably in flames.
It probably is, but we gotta see.
And when it does, we're gonna be back
Cost
to
to where
cutting
we-
stuff.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised when we have to
Well,
cut.
the key is if they want stuff not to be cut, they need to vote this in.
Sorry, Cindy, you said it
Yeah.
was $280,000 roughly.
So let's do
Now
motion.
it's-
All those
Sorry.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Did you talk again? Am I not hearing you? Am I like?
Sure, I'll
not
say
on-
opposed.
That
All right, so that was 4 for it, and 1 against, Steve against.
It's gonna
Okay, motion clearly passes. Can I have a
So how much you have
motion
to get out of
to
it now?
adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Kathy, for second? All those in favor?
Gonna do this.
Motion carries.
It is not.